What's inside you? Is it strength? Is it speed? Is it knowledge of the game? Unlocking the greatness inside you means digging deeper, running faster, and going further than you can on your own. Banner Sports Medicine High Performance Center trains the athlete in all of us with technology, techniques, and hands-on experience customized to you. See what you're capable of by unlocking the greatness inside of you.
Hi guys, Lucas Metzner here for the Varsity Sports Show. I'm here with Coach Jason Juel. Big matchup tonight. Salpointe Catholic is here visiting Brophy College Prep. Coach, there's a lot of implications, playoff implications. There's the 6A versus the open bid, and of course the biggest thing being the 6A Central on the line tonight. What was the message to the guys to stay focused?
Really, the message was week one on the same field, we had a choice, right, where we could have split or we could have come together after that tough loss to Williamsfield. So that the message was that these kids, we've decided to stay on the right path and band together, and we won 7 of our next 8. So that's a big deal. And then to finish our season, we're light years ahead of where we were last year, and it'd be really, really nice to win a region championship, something that Brophy hasn't done since 2008.
What does it mean to you tonight to have this big game in front of the home crowd here at Central High School?
Man, it's a whole lot better than driving 2.5 hours down to Tucson, I'll tell you that much. So we'll have to do it next year, hopefully again for another region championship on the line. But, yeah, our crowd's always great, and then we don't have to make that road trip. So hopefully it comes out in favor of us.
Absolutely. Coach, any final thoughts for the big game?
Go Broncos.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
The biggest regular season game of the season comes on the last game for both of these teams as the Salpointe Catholic Lancers travel north to Brophy College Preparatory to face the Broncos for the 6A Central Region Championship. Good evening, folks. Avi Singh alongside Lucas Metzner. And Lucas, this game cannot be understated in its importance.
Yeah, so many implications, of course. The biggest one being the battle for the 6A Central right now. Both teams 3-0 against the other regional opponents, but yet to face each other. Last regular season game against 2 playoff teams. Another implication on the line is the playoffs themselves. The winner of this game will be looking to get an open division bid, maybe that 7 or 8 spot, and the loser will likely be one of the top seeds in the 6A playoffs.
Absolutely, and Brophy coming into the game at 7-2 under their stellar offense led by quarterback Charlie McGinnis. They're currently 12th on AZ Prep's open rankings, 9th in 6A total, and a second for the 6A playoffs behind only the Pinnacle Pioneers. And meanwhile, for Salpointe, they technically lead the division at 8-1. However, they're behind Brophy in one ranking for each of those positions, Lucas. So, of course, this game of great importance.
Yeah, it's going to determine a lot either way. These are 2 really good schools. 3 combined losses between them and 15 combined wins. We're going to see some good football tonight. It's going to be an exciting one to watch between 2 very disciplined football teams.
And the last time these 2 teams played, Lucas, was 15 years ago in 2008 in Tucson. Brophy ended up winning that game, later went to the state championship game where they ended up losing to the Hamilton Huskies.
That was a great year for Brophy that year, and realignments have these teams meeting once again in a thriller.
Here is Kaya Francone for the opening kick, and we are underway from Ray Lang Field at Central High School, as the ball will be taken by Cree Thomas, who pushes his way through before going down. Initially tackled by Malik Akinvile, but able to escape that before being brought down. And that's going to bring up the Broncos offense, of course, led by Charlie McGinnis and his electric receiving core. But, Lucas, we can't underestimate the importance of these running backs as well. They've been crucial this season.
Yeah, the 2 tandem backs of Carlos Estrada and Harrison Chambers have been critical to the Broncos offense. It's allowed head coach Jason Juel to call a more balanced offense, and by being able to run the ball, keeps the defense off balance and gives Charlie McGinnis more opportunities later in the game.
Brophy will start 1st and 10, 2 yards short of a touchback at the 18. It's going to be a quick screen pass that time. It's Dalen Sharper on the outside, dancing his way out towards the sidelines, and a good start here for Brophy.
Yeah, that's part of the classic Jason Juel play design, but it works really well. Sometimes he likes to run that first play of the game, but a good fake, and Charlie McGinnis has gotten so good at his play action fakes, really selling it, and their bread and butter this year has been a lot of play action screens.
There's a gain of 7 by Sharper on that initial play of the drive, sets up 2nd and 3 here. It'll be a handoff to Chambers. He'll be the back to start the game, evading some tackles and making his way through for the first down.
That time, Noah Banye of the Lancers coming in to clean them up that time from the opposite end. So good job not giving up on the pursuit, but not before Brophy is able to get a nice first down because Harrison Chambers keeps his legs churning at all times.
Fresh set of downs here for the Broncos as McGinnis double checks his sign before taking the snap. Looks like that's Jacob Buggy in motion out towards the right side. And this could be a run play here, and it will be with Chambers. Going outside, getting a good amount of yards before being brought down that time, and a sneak play for the Broncos works out.
And Chambers' stature is 5'6", 165 pounds, but you wouldn't believe that with the way you watch this kid play football. He'll run between the tackles, he'll get a burst of speed outside, but every time he's lowering his shoulder and he keeps his legs moving, he's really an impressive runner for these Broncos.
McGinnis got a guy to jump there. That time the penalty was assessed to number 99 on that Salpointe defense. That's Noah Bonnier who made that play earlier. And of course, Charlie McGinnis, known for these hard snap counts, he likes to fake out his defenders.
I was mentioning it in the car ride over that he kind of reminds me of Aaron Rodgers, the way he's able to deliver that hard count and get them to jump off sides in critical situations.
McGinnis to throw this time. Caught far left sideline and just short of the first down that time. It's Christian Camarada, CC.
That is now CC's 34th reception, and it puts him just over 400 yards on the season. He's McGinnis' favorite and most reliable target. Really good route runner and seems to catch the football every time it's thrown his way.
Camarada, only a junior, had a very underrated season so far here for Brophy's offense. He's been a key playmaker, as McGinnis on the option play will keep it himself and will be stopped short for third down.
That time, Keono Willett came there on the backside to him in. Charlie McGinnis does a really good job not giving up on the play. The Broncos really enjoy that read option, and that time, that's a good job being a secondary defender and make the tackle.
And we'll have to see if they send a blitz here with Elijah rushing, of course, the five-star recruit, as the ball is fumbled on the snap. McGinnis able to pick it up, but that's going to force fourth down and not what the Broncos were looking for on third and short.
Yeah, two really good football teams. You can't have mistakes that beat yourself. That time, a bad snap, been really rare. Haven't seen that much of the Broncos, but McGinnis just using the smart play there, way to fall on it and make sure not to give the Lancers some easy field position.
Mistake that time by Brophy's snapper. The center is going to force up Connor Fury out for the punt. Armani Sharif, the wide receiver cornerback, set to return for the Lancers, as he'll field it around the 20-yard line, zigzagging his way through the offense, and stopped at the 39.
Very shifty return right there. Broncos may have to watch out on punts and kicks for Sharif right there. But the coverage team eventually hemmed him in, and good return. Doesn't completely flip the field position, but gives Brophy a chance to play defense here.
So out trots the Lancers offense for their first series of the game, led by quarterback Taylor Nagor. He can run and throw the football. It'll be a handoff to the running back Jackson Bonnier on first down. Stopped short that time. He had 19 carries last game for 70 yards.
Yeah, he's had a very workhorse load of a season. That was his 93rd carry. He's just over 600 yards, averaging 6.5 yards a carry, 2 games over 100 plus, and 11 touchdowns. Bonnier is going to be one to watch in this one.
They now have Jalen Willis-Denard out there at running back, as we have a whistle blown here. Looks like his towel flew off.
And a ball switch coming from the Brophy sideline. So may not have initially switched the footballs like they had planned.
Short intermission here brings up 2nd and 8 from the 42-yard line. Nagor passing, complete right side. That's to Morgan Keary. Brought down quickly, will force up a third down. And Brophy's going to want to get that football back after fumbling the snap on third down in their first series.
Yeah, they got a chance to make the Lancers go 3 and out right here. And we talked about how good Brophy's offense has been all year, but this team is so good because they play complementary football. The defense has been grinding out drives, trying to get that football back consistently for the offense, and they're really good at rallying to the football. Multiple hats making the tackle.
3rd and 8 here, and I would watch out for Nathan Spivey, the Salpointe running back, as we got whistles blown here. They might want to swap out the football again. Looks like it's an equipment change, so 2 stops in the game already, Lucas, and both on official timeouts.
Really interesting, really weird.
Here is the 3rd down play. Nagor drops back to pass, looking under pressure. He's going to be brought down. Sacked that time by the Broncos. Number 8, the defensive back, Dom Mitchell, and that's going to force up 4th down.
That time they let Dom Mitchell kind of come in the box. He was the 5th DB, the nickel back right there. They let him creep in and go off the edge. Got blocked initially, but good persistence to get the sack and a big 3 and out for the Bronco defense.
Defenses setting the tone here early on both sides as Cree Thomas now back to receive the punt. Broncos always elect for 2 returners. Christian Camarada on that left side, and CC will let the ball bounce before Salpointe makes a recovery.
So 2 defenses going at it early, forcing some punts here. We'll see which offense breaks through first, but I have a feeling it'll be the Broncos. They were looking good until a bad snap.
Yeah, and one important thing about the Broncos is the offensive line as well. Of course, the errant snap, but when you have a guy like Elijah rushing on your defensive line, you need to get good blockers in there. Unfortunately for Brophy, that's something that they've been successful at all season.
They're really going to be keeping an eye on him. Rushing has 10.0 sacks for the season so far.
McGinnis will throw a screen on 1st down, caught by Jacob Buggy, trying to spin his way out of the tackle, but brought down by Armani Sharif on the right side.
Going back to their bread and butter play calling. Good job just getting a few yards there. That time after faking the handoff, they elect to go with the bubble screen instead of a tunnel screen.
And this team, Lucas, known for a lot of screen passes and that quick hurry-up offense. 2nd and 8, McGinnis firing over the middle, complete. And tackle that time by Thomas Regina.
Finds senior Jacob Buggy again. Both Jacob Buggy and Jax Ryan have been the other 2 very reliable targets for McGinnis besides CC. And now Broncos need to convert on 3rd and short.
3rd and 2 here. Chambers in the game. And he's a running back that's very talented at going down the middle and pushing his way through for extra yards despite his size. As Buggy moves to the right again, this could be a block like we saw earlier, and it is. Chambers pushing his way up for the 1st down. Looks like he might be stopped short. Tackle that time again by Regina.
Yeah, really close that time. Regina has been flying around the football field, making tackles left and right. 4th and a few mere inches here, and I like the boldness from Coach Juel to at least try a hard count here.
4th and short, McGinnis will take the snap, hand off to Chambers, pushing his way through. Did he get the yards? Looks like he was pushed back, and it's going to depend on where the referees spot the football.
Very close, could go either way here.
Looks like he might be an inch or 2 short, Lucas. We're going to have to see what the ruling is. Salpointe celebrating.
I think we're going to get an official measurement here.
A game as serious as this, you're going to have to use an official measurement early to figure out where this ball is going to be placed. And from where we're sitting up near the press box, Lucas, it looks a little bit short. We saw the Salpointe sideline celebrating their stop, but we're going to have to see where they measure this right now.
It's close. It's right near the 35, but not quite, and that's kind of where the ball is too. So once we see them set it up, might have a good indication. And I see some leash room right there. It could be short.
working on the setup right now. Let's see what they rule it. Brophy saying they have it. They do. First down for the Broncos. Great rush by Harrison Chambers. They're going to keep this drive alive.
Game of inches right now, and that's a big one. Chambers, in his 5'6" frame, does a really good job of using his low center of gravity to his advantage.
There's still some conversation here, so we're going to have to see what's going on now. They ruled it in Brophy's favor. Salpointe's defense is back out on the field. And we have another official timeout, so it looks like the refs are going to have to talk this one over a little more.
Right now, it appears they're looking at that marker that determines how you make sure the chains are in order. There's always this little orange tag, and they make sure to set it up on like an even yard line, like the 30. So I think they're trying to set that tag up right now and make sure they got their measurement correctly. And they're also trying to make sure that the chains aren't tangled in any sort of fashion that could potentially give Brophy a link or two in their advantage.
Yeah, and when you use the football phrase, move the chains, of course they mean down the football field, but sometimes you have to move the chains towards the football and get that very, very specific measurement to see where the ball lands.
You see the head referee, and he's got one guy, one of his side judges, on a knee, holding it down at the 30.
And it's going to be ruled a Salpointe football.
And so that's going to cause some frustration. Coach Juel really talking to the referee. It must have been a chain stuck somewhere or an incorrect yard line marker to measure them up. It's very interesting situation developing early.
Coach Juel clearly upset with that call. Initially, Salpointe thought they had it on the tackle on Chambers, went back to the sidelines. Referees came out with the stick, measured it, ruled it in Brophy's favor, decided they wanted to talk it over a little more. Now they're saying that it's Salpointe football. And out comes Taylor Nagor in the offense. Looks like Salpointe's going to take over here, 1st and 10 from Brophy's 34-yard line.
So the Brophy defense tasked with a difficult challenge here. The offense has played so well all year. They haven't had to face a lot of uphill battles all the way since they played Basha. So first challenge in a while for the defense, but they have been up for it for the most part of the season.
And this is a play, Lucas, I think that you really can't get your morale down if you're the defense. You have to go on the field and do your job at this point. I know, of course, they're going to be upset with the call, but at this point, there's nothing that can be reversed.
So how about all you respond? When I talked to Coach Juel pregame, he said after their tough loss to Williams Field, they could split or rally together, and they have chosen to rally together.
That loss to Williams Field, of course, the first game of the football season here. You and I on the call for that one. Brophy lost up 14 with around 7 minutes left to go in that football game, but they really bounced back. Only loss was to Basha as Nagor under pressure. He'll take off with his legs before being taken down that time. That's Bastian Vandenbosch, but Taylor Nagor, a guy that's very good with his legs.
Absolutely. These two guys, they aren't particularly known as runners, but what I like to call both Nagor and McGinnis is they are runners when they need to be, and they're efficient when they need to use their legs.
And sometimes as a quarterback, you just need that escapability, and that's exactly what they have. Is Jackson Bonnier in the game for this series at running back now, replacing Jalen Wills-Zenard. Bonnier with a majority of the carries throughout the season. And here's a carry from Bonnier right now, making his way through the hole before being pushed by Brophy players, and the referees will have to whistle this play dead.
Early rushing attack from Salpointe, moving them into field goal range near the red zone here. I would consider it a win for Brophy's defense if Salpointe only comes away with 3 points here.
Well, here's the thing about Salpointe Catholic, too. Arizona Preps 365 has their strength of schedule at around a 17, but this, of course, an 8-1 football team. Their only loss was to Liberty, who many people deem to be the best team in the state, and they beat Saguaro last week, too. As a big hit that time initially, and Bonnier is going to be brought down. That's Mardell Rowe.
Yeah, there seemed to be some trickery. Looks like a reverse or a counter right there. But Mardell Rowe was having none of it. and he laid him out in the backfield about 5 or 6 yards back.
Mardell Rowe absolutely rocking the boat that play, and that almost emphasizes the frustration that the Broncos went through in these last few plays here.
Was able to get out a little frustration in that hit. He certainly let him have it on that lick.
Second and very, very long here for Brophy, or for Salpointe, excuse me. Brophy trying to chase Nagor right now, and he'll be brought down, but making this a more manageable third down for Salpointe, and they're now in field goal range.
Nagor has been interesting on his feet. Only 48 carries, but now that's over 400 yards, averaging about 8 yards a carry, and he's got 9 rushing touchdowns.
And Bonnier had a majority of the carries in last week's win in Scottsdale against Saguaro, but Nagor was the guy that had the lone rushing touchdown for Salpointe last week.
It's a gritty defensive game last week between those two, a 21-14 finish.
Two receivers in motion on 3rd and 8. Nagor will play action the ball. Looking to throw. He's going to escape out to his right. We got flags on the field. He's brought down by 3 Broncos, and we're going to have to see what the call is.
More likely than not a holding, but we will have to see if it's anything different.
That's a quarterback sack by Marlon Colbert. Holding offense. Penalties decline. Marlon Colbert with the sack.
So credit the sack that play to Marlon Colbert on Taylor Nagor. It was the holding by the offense, and Brophy elected to decline that. Meanwhile, we have an injury here. It looks like that's Mardell Rowe, who had that big hit on Jackson Bonnier a little earlier here.
Luckily, he's walking off here early under his own power. Hopefully, the trainers can help him back onto the field. But a big stop for Brophy's defense, as it looks like Salpointe will likely send the field goal unit onto the field.
And hopefully just a cramp that time for Mardell Rowe or something less. I know it's a cool evening in November, but those cramps, Lucas, can still creep up to you even when it's not in the hot summer months.
Even when it's not hot, you just never know when it comes, and they are tough to get through whenever they hit.
Salpointe kicker Kaya Francone here to attempt the 39-yard field goal. With 1:33 left to go here in the first quarter. Kick is up, and wow, right through the uprights and good from 39 is Francone.
Francone with a great leg right there. Just good special teams unit, good snap, good hold, and a beautiful kick to give Salpointe an early lead. But hey, after the Broncos went through a little bit of turmoil with the spot, would it be, would it not be? The defense able to come up with a huge win and only hold them to 3.
Salpointe able to come up with 3 points, as you said, after that referee decision. Brophy elected to decline the holding. They could have made it 3rd and very long once more, but they decided not to, and that set up the field goal opportunity for Salpointe, and they took it.
With teams this good, you never know when you can accidentally give up an explosive play. Either it's good play call, one guy misses an assignment or something. You know, field position might have been one thing, but with the legs of Nagor, didn't want to risk giving them a 3rd down conversion there.
CC and Thomas back to receive as always. As Francone kicks that one with his boot as well. Big kick into the end zone for a touchback, and this guy's got a leg, Lucas.
Absolutely. He is booting it left and right. He's got the accuracy, too. Right down the middle of the uprights and touchbacks so the defense can just start at a normal place every time. It's all you need and all you want in a high school kicker.
And when we watch these two teams play, Lucas, it's almost like they're almost exactly the same in a way, the way they play, the players that they have, and how good they are at each position.
They do have 2 very similar squads. I'd say the one thing that Brophy has is a tandem running back backfield compared to Salpointe kind of having a one-man army.
Here comes Brophy's offense after they were ruled short on that last series. McGinnis trying to make a throw. Good coverage that time by Caden Steptoe, incomplete.
That time, a timing throw was looking for Nathan Benzie. Possibly an out route, looked more like a curl route, and McGinnis maybe threw it a second too early for Benzie to be ready for that one.
Benzie, a guy that sometimes comes in for the offense, but he has a good amount of touchdowns here in the season. McGinnis likes to find him in the end zone as he drops back to throw here on second down. Under pressure, and he's going to be sacked that time. McGinnis goes down immediately, and who else but Elijah Rushing? They're going to call it an incomplete pass, though. It looks like he actually got the ball out of his hands before taking the hit.
Yeah, that one was a close one. McGinnis, with the referee right there, able to get it off incomplete. His hand was going forward enough. Now on the season, that is Elijah Rushing's 46th quarterback hurry of
Smart
the year.
Decision that time by McGinnis to get rid of the football because he had a receiver in the area. 3rd and 10 here for Brophy. They haven't been able to move the football yet. Catch by Sharper, brought down by Sharif, but not before the Broncos move the chains.
And the future of this offense is going to be number 84, Dalen Sharper, and the son of Larry Fitzgerald, fellow sophomore number 81, Devin Fitzgerald. Those two are sophomores right now, and they've been healthy contributors to the offense. So Brophy is going to value those two for the next few years to come.
Dalen Sharper, a guy that's also on Brophy's varsity basketball team, had a breakout season last year as a freshman and looking to play basketball next season as Buggy makes the catch that time before being taken out of bounds by Sharif.
Going back to the bread and butter, just a quick screen, get some yards for it, and set up on second down. Brophy looking to move quickly to see if they can catch Salpointe off guard.
Short yards here for Brophy, 2nd and 3. Handoff that time. It's Carlos Estrada making his way through outside, and a first down and then some that time for Carlos.
And it's good to see him fully healthy once again. He's moving well. Made a great cut in the open field for the first down.
Came back in that game against Desert Vista. That was Brophy's homecoming. As we got flags here, this could be a potential false start.
Could be a false start. Might not even be a penalty against Brophy. The chains weren't set.
Substitution infraction penalty on the defense.
Looks like it's a Salpointe penalty. They're going to call it a substitution infraction. So too many men on the field that time as they were trying to hurry up quickly.
That is another thing. Obviously, the talent way different, but that's another thing McGinnis reminds me of Aaron Rodgers with. Not only the hard count, but he likes to try and catch 12 men on the field as well.
Don't forget, too, McGinnis does have an arm. We've seen him throw the ball deep multiple times this season in that air raid offense, and it's worked out very well. But he does love his screens, though, and that one to Fitzgerald this time on 1st and 5. And the last play of the first quarter will be blown dead. At the end of one, the Salpointe Catholic Lancers lead in this 6A Central Region Championship game 3-0. We'll take a short break and be right back in a bit.
What's inside you? Is it strength? Is it speed? Is it knowledge of the game? Unlocking the greatness inside you means digging deeper, running faster, and going further than you can on your own. Banner Sports Medicine High Performance Center trains the athlete in all of us with technology, techniques, and hands-on experience customized to you. See what you're capable of by unlocking the greatness inside of you.
Salpointe will take over 1st and 10 from the 44. It's going to be a handoff to the wide receiver, Nathan Spivey. Picks up around 4 or 5 before being brought down.
Spivey, one of the ones to watch in this one. That was a little jet touch pass. And unfortunately, there is a Salpointe player down, but that's the 35th reception on the year for Spivey. He's got just over 370 yards, averages almost 11 per catch, and 4 touchdowns. He is a dangerous factor for the Lancers.
And Lucas Brophy has played well so far in this game, but the problem has been turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, you have the turnover on downs with the inches, will they, won't they mark it a first down or not? That was a tough call. Could have gone either way. And then you have a very rare Charlie McGinnis interception, only his 4th this entire year. A rare sight to see this season. So the defense needs to answer the call once again, and the offense is going to be looking for answers once they return back to the field.
And that ball being the 4th interception of the season by Charlie McGinnis, of course, a testament to how accurate he has been throwing the football this season. Very different from his junior year where he threw a lot of interceptions. He's been able to secure the football very well in his senior campaign. Salpointe on 2nd and 7. Handoff to Bonnier, trying to push his way through, but he won't. And a 3rd down here for Salpointe.
Right there, that is a gold star for the entire defensive line, and a special shout out right there to Braden Michael. They really battled that time, and they shut down all of the A and B gaps right there, forcing an important 3rd and long.
As we said, a game of inches so far in this first half between both of the teams. And that play sums it up right there as Nagor's going to try to run it 3rd down, wrapped up short. And that's going to force 4th down. Great tackle that time by Alex Salome.
Salome been an important factor right there, but an important flag that could determine a big outcome right here, especially if it's against the Brophy defense.
Referees circulating around Salpointe's offense, so you wonder if this could be a penalty on Brophy. Indeed, it will be a defensive penalty. It's going to be a holding, and Salpointe now with a 3rd and 2.
So a horse apiece right there. Was holding on Salpointe, but Brophy flagged for the face mask, so they'll do it again. So that tackle by Salome goes void for a little bit, and they'll do it again.
Yeah, excuse me for the incorrect call of the penalties. It was a face mask for Brophy, holding for Salpointe. Those offset, so it's still 3rd and 8 here, but Salpointe with another chance to pick up a 1st down. As Nagor on play action, looking to fire, rolling out left, fires down the field. It is complete to his receiver, and a big gain that time for Salpointe on the offsetting penalties. Catch made by Morgan Curie.
Thought I heard a whistle, but no. It was a flag, but not an official penalty. They gave a sideline warning to Salpointe, or actually Brophy. But what a play that time by Nagor. I mean, he finds the time and space, and he's got a cannon for himself. Completion down the sideline that really flips the field position.
Absolutely. Don't doubt Taylor Nagor in this football game. He's been improvising pretty well so far out the gate, and that's something he did on that play with a big gain. As Bonnier will take the handoff on 1st down, trying to push his way through into the end zone, and looks like he might be a little bit short. And no touchdown, but that's going to set up 1st and goal with just a few inches to go.
Yeah, and that's the talent of Bonnier right there. He bounced off the first tackler, shoves himself a little bit of space to the outside, and gets a burst of speed to make it 1st and goal. Brophy in a tough position after a huge turn of events with the offsetting penalties.
Things looking good so far for Salpointe. 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Perhaps a little quarterback sneak on this play. That's something we've seen offenses do so far in 6A. It'll be a run with Bonnier trying to force his way through, and he's going to be stopped short. Good defense by the Broncos to push him back that time. And once again, we've said this multiple times throughout this broadcast, but we really have to emphasize this has been a game of inches.
It has been really close. The Lancers are down within 5 yards, so it will be inches to determine this one and who's got the more push power.
They'll try it again. Second down, it's a pass, and in for the touchdown.
Nagore's pass complete.
Taylor Nagore with the touchdown pass on the trick play, and Salpointe up 9-0 in the early gate.
Yeah, that's a brilliant play call right there from Carlos Correo and Alex Rios, co-offensive coordinators of the Lancers. They dialed up the jump pass right there, and they get the Lancers up 2 possessions. Big play call down in near the goal line.
Smart play calling that time, of course, by the offensive coordinators, because Lucas, I don't think many people expect play action on second and goal, especially when you're throwing down the middle, but that's exactly what Nagore did that time, and it paid off for Salpointe.
Everyone's expecting a big push of bodies to see who can push the other one out, and just a little jump pass.
Kick that time, no good by Franconi. Hit the bottom of the field goal post, and this will stay a 9-0 football game here.
It was hard to tell who, but someone deflected that right there. We know how good of a kicker that Francone is, so someone got their big hand up there and messed with that one, but a little momentum to block the PAT.
Every point, of course, big in these regional championship games. We might see if that missed kick could come back to haunt Salpointe, but for now, celebrations on that sideline with the touchdown.
We mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, but, Brophy's kicking was perfect, but the missed kick earlier from Williams Field made them decide to go for 2 in that crazy first loss of the season. That's what we were talking about earlier, where Brophy decided that they would rally around that tough, crazy loss instead of folding and splitting up.
Kaya Francone out for the kick after he missed the extra point on the uprights. That will bounce in for a touchback, and Brophy, with their third series of the game, this time looking to get some points on the board. They've been close multiple times, but each time a turnover.
Yeah, whether it's downs, Charlie McGinnis interception, or a near fumble that on 3rd and short where you had to punt it away, the offense has had some rare miscues of them shooting themselves in the foot. This is a team that normally doesn't beat themselves, and right now they're kind of beating themselves. So I expect Jason Jewell gave them a fired up message, and they will come out motivated to get some points on this drive.
The lone punt from Brophy on Series 1. Harrison Chambers' run was overturned on Series 2. It was an interception on Series 3. Here they are on Series 4 as McGinnis with a handoff and not much room that time to run.
Went with the jet sweep design, but the Salpointe Catholic defense was not fooled, and Elijah Rushing took up an entire blocker and threw him off there to allow one of his linebackers to make the tackle.
That's exactly how huge Elijah Rushing is if he's throwing 350-pound defensive lineman down to the ground as Chambers trying to run on the outside that time, and not much. The Broncos will most likely have to pass here on 3rd down.
Yeah, the punt team's already getting ready. It's been tough sledding for the offense, but McGinnis has completed some critical 3rd down passes throughout this season. He's already completed a critical 3rd down pass to Fitzgerald earlier tonight, so let's see if he can do it again.
3rd and 8 here. Broncos trying to convert. McGinnis looking towards his right. It's a screen on 3rd down, and a quick tackle will force 4th down, and I'm curious as to why they didn't go for a deeper pass here, Lucas.
That one was a little bit of a head scratcher. All the respect in the world to Coach Jason Jewell, but that's not a play call I expect out of him right there. 3rd and medium, 3rd and long, and you'd expect you let McGinnis try and throw towards the sticks there. We know what McGinnis is capable of, and he can certainly throw a nice medium route towards the sticks, so a little bit of a head scratcher on the play call.
Yeah, much respect to Coach Jewell, especially because we've seen some very unique and crafty plays from this Brophy offense. As the punt is blocked that time, Fury will have to dive back on that, and Salpointe starting right in the red zone here, and everything going in their favor right now.
Yeah, it's been an onslaught. It seemed like the momentum shifted after Harrison Chambers was ruled short, and the Broncos, as much as they're trying, they have just been digging themselves a deeper hole, not being able to respond quite yet. And now the special teams, which we have praised all year for being so good, has had a critical blunder in the mid stages of this second quarter.
Well, it's been one of those nights so far for the Broncos, but you know what they say, it's not what brings you down, it's how you respond to what brings you down, and that's what they're going to try to do here as Salpointe gets the ball at the 9-yard line.
It's also 4 quarters of football. We know Jason Juel is really good when he gets into that locker room. He's got his whiteboard, and he knows just the right things to say to get a fire lit under the rear ends of the Brophy Broncos.
First and goal from the 9 with 7:13 left to play in a 9-0 Salpointe football game. Nagor looking to throw towards his left. Pass is caught by Sharif, who is stopped short of the goal line. That's going to force up second and goal, and Salpointe with a little bit of options here, Lucas.
Yeah, Salpointe can kind of go any way they want to right here. They've been a ground and pound team the most of the year, but they caught Brophy off guard. First touchdown was a little jump pass. And now this is going to be a big series. Can Brophy force a field goal, or they're going to be down big?
5 yards to go for the Lancers. We've got flags here. Let's see what the call is going to be. Lots of penalties so far this game. This one working out in Brophy's favor. It's going to be a false start for the offense, but that does open up some more passing room if you're Salpointe.
That's a big break for Brophy, though. They make second and goal from the 11 or 12-yard line as compared to the 5. 2 downs to get 5 yards is a lot scarier than 2 downs to get 10. So now Brophy's got some options on defense. They might want to run a quarterback spy to watch Nagor.
Wills Denard in at running back this play as Nagor rolls out to his right, looking to pass. He's going to get wrapped down for the sack. And down goes Taylor Nagor. That's going to force up a third down. We do have yet another flag on the field and lots of penalties from both of these teams so far.
So it was an easy holding call on the rollout that time. And that time, and also a pretty easy decline for Coach Juel. So now it's third and goal from way out, and the Brophy defense has come up with a big answer in a critical spot.
Yeah, a good decision by Coach Juel that time, I think, Lucas, to decline the penalty because Salpointe get a fresh set of downs here. They're going to have to get the ball in the end zone here on 3rd and 18 or at least settle for a field goal. Perhaps try to go for it on 4th down if they can't get it here.
Going to need a big showing on this 3rd down play from secondary members such as Billy Eastep and Cree Thomas.
3rd and a ways to go for Salpointe, 18 yards. Nagor, play action, airing it out deep. It is over the head of his receiver and incomplete, intended for Rowan Sparks, but put too much air on the football. That's going to force up 4th and 18.
Rowan Sparks, I believe, one of their taller receivers between 6'2 and 6'4. They got a couple 6'4 receivers out there. And that time Nagor just put way too much air on it with the pressure. And the Brophy defense has responded huge just to force the field goal. Now, still has to make it here. And we've seen them block the point after, so it's possible for them to block this one as well.
Kaya Francone out for the field goal. This one's shorter than his first attempt. He hit that one from 39 yards away, but ended up missing his second extra point of the football game on the crossbar. Almost blocked that time, but right down the middle end good, and that's going to make it a 12-0 football game with 5:33 left to go in the first half.
Still keeps it very reasonable for the Broncos here. They have plenty of time to run the offense as normal and try and get a drive with some points here. Field goal at the minimum, but you know how bad Coach Juel wants to respond with a touchdown right now.
And we've heard that Notre Dame fight song, Salpointe fight song down on the sideline there. Of course, they use the Fighting Irish's fight song as their own and put a little spin on it. But when you hear the other team's fight song at home, that's usually a sign that things aren't going well.
Yeah, definitely after a score means you just gave up some points. And they got a joyous tune going on over there, holding the Brophy Broncos to nothing so far.
Francone with a kick here, and it will be returned by Cree Thomas. He elects to take it out of the backfield And he'll be stopped short of where he would have had he taken the touchback down at the 16.
I don't mind that decision, though. We know how electric Cree Thomas can be with the football in his hands as a return man. So not the worst decision in the world right there. Only a loss of a couple yards, and we know that this Salpointe defense is really good, but we've been expecting more from this Brophy Bronco offense. So we'll see if they kick it into gear here.
And when you are Cree Thomas, of course, you should have the freedom to return whatever kicks you want, especially because you're that good of a return specialist, as the ball will be spotted 1 yard over the estimation at the 17-yard line. McGinnis' first down pass caught on the sideline. Late hit that time, pushed out of bounds, and that's going to be a personal foul on Salpointe.
That time, a great pump fake by McGinnis just to get the completion, and now they're going to get an extra 15 yards tacked on top of it. That is a little bit of momentum that the Broncos were searching for, and the field position is looking to get better, so hopefully the offense keeps moving.
Salpointe Catholic up 12-0 here, but these penalties have been hurting them on the last few plays of the game.
You know, for these two high-quality football teams, you know, every game is going to have its penalties, but I have seen more flags than I was expecting from these two teams.
Tough, gritty battle here with around 5:10 left to play as McGinnis is under pressure. He's going to have to go out right. Still looking, decides to keep it himself, but when he does, he gets taken down. And it's a big third down here for the Brophy offense, trying to move those chains and get their first points of the football game on the board. Second down, excuse me.
McGinnis, that time, great pocket presence. He really can roam around, know where he is at all times, and avoid tacklers.
2nd and 7. They're trying to evade the aforementioned big third down, as McGinnis will take some time to get his signs from Coach Jason Juel. It'll be a run that time. That's a Estrada. No, McGinnis keeps it himself. Good fake that time, and CC gets the ball. Stopped just short of a first down. That's going to be 3rd and a few inches. No, they give him the space, and he gets the first down. Good fight for yardage that time by CC.
Back to the bread and butter play action screen, and Salpointe is really disrupting the throwing lanes, but Charlie McGinnis' patience is paying off and still getting them complete.
1st and 10 from the 50, trying to get into Salpointe territory. McGinnis, great pass to CC again. He has been his favorite target all season.
And this is the Charlie McGinnis we are used to, making multiple completions, multiple passes in a row. He's a 65% completion percentage guy, so he's getting back to form right here.
Yeah, McGinnis, last game, he was 21 of 30 for 246 yards. He had 4 touchdowns in the air. He also had 1 on the ground in that 44-7 win at Mountain Point. A win that kept the Broncos perfect in the division. They're trying to keep that streak going here in the regional championship game, as Chambers couldn't force his way through that time. And a lot of plays have been blown dead by whistles. It was Estrada on the field. But as I was saying, a lot of plays have been blown dead by whistles, and that just shows how gritty this game has been. Both teams fighting for as much yardage as they can get.
Both teams have an elite offensive and defensive line. The battle in the trenches has been one to watch.
3rd and short here. Broncos need only a yard, maybe even a few inches here. 3:30 left to go in the first half. Both teams still have all 3 timeouts. McGinnis will throw on 3rd and 1, and he is a fast guy. He'll keep it himself with his legs to pick up the first down. A multi-sport athlete plays football and lacrosse, and when you're on a lacrosse field, you have to be quick, and that's what he does there with his legs. And we've seen that escapability and that instinct to run throughout the season, Lucas.
Charlie McGinnis, the quarterback, and Charlie McGinnis, the lacrosse player, blending together right there, showed a lot of quickness and awareness to pick up the first down.
Charlie playing lacrosse at Hofstra University in New York next year, hopes to play football as well, as throwing that towards Buggy on the sideline, incomplete.
Yeah, just had some pressure there from guess who? Elijah Rushing came off the edge, and that time McGinnis just has to dump it over his receiver's head, make sure nothing bad happens.
And you got to like how ironic Elijah Rushing's last name is, because, of course, he's a bull rush type of player. He gets past that line very easily and rushes right to whoever has the football. McGinnis, 2nd down pass, caught over the middle. And short here will set up 3rd down. Pass caught that time by Jacob Buggy.
Just a good medium route in space. McGinnis is good at those timing routes. But that last play, got to give credit to number 57, Chaz Carson, the left tackle, holding up, rushing there, giving McGinnis the time to throw.
Yeah, and Chaz Carson, actually a buddy of mine. I was talking to him earlier today about guarding Elijah Rushing. He said, we just got to keep doing what we've done all season as an offensive unit. And sometimes these offensive linemen will walk around Brophy's campus on game day wearing their O-line shirts, and that's a message that I think they really want to send.
Yeah, they're very proud to be offensive linemen. They do a really good job at it. At that time, Chaz Carson doing a good job in pass pro, holding up on that left tackle side. I wonder how much we'll see a chip block, when the running back just kind of puts his shoulder into rushing. So we'll see if Estrada or Chambers are up to the task, but that is a tall task as rushing is 6'5", 250 pounds. So, Chaz Carson's done a good job one-on-one, but these big third down situations, wonder if Brophy will try and call a double team either with the left guard or try and get a chip block from Estrada.
Yeah, we've seen Rushing make some big plays so far throughout the game, but Chaz Carson has done a terrific job on that left side of blocking him from doing any damage towards Charlie McGinnis or towards the running back. And speaking of blocking, great block that time, sets up a throw complete to Jacob Buggy for Charlie McGinnis.
That time, a design rollout play, so Estrada's rolling with McGinnis, and Estrada's job is the first threat closest to McGinnis, lowers his shoulder right into him, and gives McGinnis the enough time to make a beautiful pass, and the offense is clicking once again.
The offensive line has done a great job tonight for the Broncos. It's been the secondary that's given Brophy's offense some trouble. And I speak too soon as the ball is stripped from McGinnis under pressure by Dino Drossos, and Salpointe recovers the football again. Second turnover of the game for Brophy, and things not looking too great with 2:14 and left to go in the first half.
Just as the offense was moving the ball efficiently down the field, they call a design rollout to the left. The coverage was good. McGinnis had to wait. And on McGinnis' blind side comes Dinos, and he just clawed the football out in the middle of the tackle. And that's just a tough one to swallow. McGinnis just wasn't looking. That's the blind side right there.
And it's just a crushing feeling, Lucas, when everything looks like it's going your way, only for stuff like this to happen. That's happened multiple times throughout the game, whether it was the fumble on the snap, the Harrison Chambers overturn, the interception, or now the strip sack. As Bonnier with the football on first down, picks up 9 or so yards, just short of the first down, will force second. But for Brophy, it's almost like when they have something good going on, it immediately gets taken away from them.
Yeah, they haven't been able to make the good things last right now. They haven't sustained offensive drives to the point of getting points right now. And it's been a tough blow for the Broncos, the fact that they are just falling short. But this is what makes them such a good team. You know that they're going to respond. They're not going to roll over. They're not going to go away quietly. And even if they can't score before halftime, you know the defense is going to fight their tails off to try and prevent Salpointe from scoring again. And I just know that a good halftime speech in that locker room will be able to turn this team around and get a better showing in the second half.
Well, you and I have both been around Coach Juel a lot this season in our interviews with him whenever we do color commentary, and we know how great of a figure he is as a leader, as a coach for this team, and especially as a speaker. And you know that he's the guy that can light a fire in their guts in halftime.
He's absolutely capable of that. He just seems to know what to say at the right time all the time. He's got the charisma that a coach needs to inspire his players while still gaining their respect and trust. And everyone in the system is bought in. And it's been beautiful to see how this football team has played this year.
Back to play here after Salpointe's timeout. 2nd and 3 for the Lancers from their 34-yard line. Hoping to get a few more points here before the end of the first half. Derrick in motion that time. Nagor keeps it himself. Incomplete, almost intercepted. It was a drop that time to his receiver. And that's going to force up third down. Marlon Colbert, great coverage that time. He had a sack earlier in the game, too.
Colbert doing a good job in on the direct coverage, but that time, Dom Mitchell, number 8, made a tough throwing lane for Nagore right there, and he almost got the deflection interception. It was just out of his reach right there, but made a tough throwing lane and a critical third down forthcoming.
Teamwork made the dream work that time between Mitchell and Colbert, setting up 3rd and 3 here. Nagore, the handoff. Bonnier pushing his way through, spinning around. No, that's Spivey, the wide receiver, and we've seen him use his legs sometimes. They run that Debo Samuel wide receiver carry, and it works out that time for the first down.
All 6'1", 200 pounds of Spivey right there. He was throwing defenders off of him. We both just thought that Brophy was going to get the football back right there, and all of a sudden he breaks a tackle or two and gets another first down.
And you know you're a versatile player, Nathan Spivey, when you play mid linebacker, tight end, and a running back at the same time. Nagore under pressure, brought down that time. Mardell Rowe gets his 2nd sack of this football game, and Nagore a little shaken up after that play.
Initially, the hurry coming from Billy Eastep. They let him in on a rare corner blitz. Couldn't get to him, but good job by Mardell Rowe to just clean it up.
6-yard loss forces up 2nd and a ways to go from the 16. Rather from 16 out, as Salpointe right now at their 37. They march forward. Now they're starting to march a little backwards, but 55 seconds left to go and 2 timeouts. We'll see how aggressive they want to be here before the end of the first half. As we have whistles on the field, it's going to be a penalty.
Penalty prior to the snap. Dead ball foul. Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Too conservative right there. I thought they might have been able to take a timeout last minute, but the flag reigns supreme. And now Salpointe is looking at 2nd and a country mile. Going to be tough to convert.
Delay of game that time for Salpointe. And they're going to elect to run the ball with Bonnier here on 2nd and very long as he gets taken down. Now it's going to be 3rd and around 20.
Tackle for the Broncos. Number 91, Devin Kennedy.
And there we go. There is
Officially,
the timeout we were waiting for from Brophy. They have them at their dispense, and it is a possible here for them to cook up one last drive for half.
Brophy, however, if they do want the football, may have to burn 2 of their timeouts before the half because it's 3rd and 23. So if Salpointe decides to run the football here, they're going to waste some clock. Brophy will have to use 1 more timeout. That would leave them with 1 timeout by the time they get the football back. They're going to have to go for a big hitter and then a timeout to set up a potential Connor Fury field goal.
Definitely the case there, but you always like to have that emergency timeout at the end of the half. They'll see if Salpointe gets any aggressive here and maybe forces an incompletion or someone running out of bounds, but going to be important for this Bronco defense to make the stop first things first and then see if getting the football back can get the offense a small spark.
3rd and a country mile, as you say, as Jackson Bonnier will run the ball to milk the clock. Tackled quickly. Brophy's going to have to use their 2nd timeout here of the first half, and that will leave them 38 seconds to get the football and try to get some points on the board before going to the locker room at halftime.
timeout.
38 seconds, an emergency timeout, and 2 dangerous return men. I think Brophy has a small opportunity here, get some points before half, and really just get some momentum before you have to head into the locker room.
It'll certainly, too, depend on how far this punt goes. 38 seconds, not a lot of clock to work with. You might want to try and throw a few balls out towards the sideline, stop that clock, but at least try and settle for a field goal here and pick up 3 points in a 12-0 football game.
Brophy has won so many of these games by double digits, we really haven't had to see it a whole lot, but McGinnis knows how to work the 2-minute drill. So we'll see if Coach Juel lets him turn loose.
Joseph Bernier, the punter here for Salpointe. CC, oh, he fumbles the punt, trying to kick it. It's short. They're letting it bounce, and Salpointe will pick it up. right around the 44-yard line. Interesting sequence of events, but Brophy definitely closer than they would have been had Bernier gotten the punt out.
Yeah, we were surprised that
24 yards.
he made a good play even to get it off that far. And real quick, there was a flag, but it's only a sideline warning against Salpointe. But right there, we thought that one was blocked. He was tackled. Something was going to happen, and somehow had the wherewithal to get the punt off. And then it was kind of a screaming incident from the sideline. All the coaches telling the guys to get away, but it did take a Lancer bounce in the process and some time off the clock.
And I don't know if you've ever watched Australian rules football, but sometimes the ball in that game can get loose and someone can pick it up and kick it down the field, and that's exactly what Bernier did that time. McGinnis over the middle, complete to Buggy, trying to push his way out of bounds. He can't make it there, and Brophy will have to use their last time out here.
Yeah, that one's tough. Wanted to get a couple more yards. Good job just finding the open man in the middle of the field, but the Lancers playing kind of that boxy defense, making sure no one gets out of bounds. He made a move towards the sideline, but just couldn't quite reach it. And now the Broncos are going to be looking quick to the sideline, see if they can get in the range of Connor Fury.
Boy, it was certainly a great effort that time, too, by Jacob Buggy to try and push his way out of bounds. We saw him use his body as much as he could, but ultimately stopped short, and that's just good coverage that time. You allowed him to catch the football down the middle, but quick recovery by Salpointe, and they made the Broncos use their last time out of the half.
Looking at the Broncos receiving personnel, they'll have trips with CC, Jacob Buggy, and Nathan Benzie. And on the left side, bottom of your screen, they're going to choose to isolate Dalen Sharper here. Going to be an interesting matchup.
Scoreboard says Salpointe used their timeout. Interesting decision. Brophy will have one timeout left. That just gives them a bigger opportunity to get some points here. Now they corrected that. It was a Brophy timeout, as they said. So I was a little confused there by that scoreboard. And you could see Brophy did burn their timeout as they had to go out of bounds. But 11 seconds left here at the 36-yard line. You're going to get one more big play out of bounds before Connor Fury comes out to kick a field goal.
This time, Nathan Benzie, top of your screen, will be the isolated receiver in the trip set.
McGinnis drops back under pressure, firing. It is hauled in by Sharper for the touchdown. Dalen Sharper with an incredible catch by Charlie McGinnis on that throw. And just like that, the Broncos back in this football game.
Wow, there it is. They finally unleash McGinnis, and what a time for it right before the half. There is the arm talent, power, and accuracy that McGinnis has. But wow, the sophomore Sharper, go up and get it, young man. What a play.
The young buck, Dalen Sharper, with the catch of the year so far for the Broncos on their season. Fury out for the extra point. That's good. And just like that, it's a 7-12 ball game with 5 seconds left to go here in this first half. And Brophy getting momentum as they head now to the locker room.
That is perfect. That is just what the Broncos ordered. A fade route to the corner of the end zone. Screw the field goal attempt. Let's go get it all and get 6. I like the thinking. I like the play call, and even better execution on top of it.
Well, Brophy certainly could have elected to throw the ball out on the sideline and go for 3, but a gutsy call that time by Coach Juel, and that's why you and I praise his play calling so much, because that's exactly how it pays off.
We are big fans of Coach Juel's play calling. Does a good job of balancing the run and pass. And I like he picks his spots to be aggressive, but they're normally very good spots to use that aggression.
If there's one thing we've learned so far throughout this season, it's that absolutely anything can happen in Arizona high school football. As a squib kick that time to milk the clock. And the clock does hit 0 seconds, so we head to halftime, but Brophy with a big touchdown catch by Dalen Sharper, that makes it a 12-7 Salpointe lead as both teams head into their respective locker rooms for halftime. We're going to take a halftime break here. We'll be back with you guys for the start of the third quarter.
On Wednesday night, the Texas Rangers defeated the Arizona Diamondbacks in Game 5 to clinch their first World Series in franchise history. Although it was a disappointing finish for Arizona, the journey of how they got this far against all odds is pretty remarkable and worth remembering and recapping. So how did we get here? Well, back in 2021, the D-backs had a 52-110 record, tied for the worst in the league. This team was still in a rebuild after they lost star players like Paul Goldschmidt, AJ Pollock, and Zach Greinke. They did have a couple players worth building around, such as Ketel Marte, Christian Walker, and Zach Gallen, but all three of them missed a portion of the season due to injury. The pitching staff really struggled in 2021, and so did the offense. But in 2022, the youngsters started to arrive, and the team started to turn it around. Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly had career seasons and were much more healthy than the previous year. We also saw glimpses of prospects like Corbin Carroll, Alec Thomas, and Geraldo Perdomo. The D-backs in 2022 won 74 games, a huge improvement from the 52 games they won in 2021. They were close. In the offseason, heading into the 2023 season, the D-backs made a big trade that surprised a lot of people. They traded Dalton Varsho to the Toronto Blue Jays, a talented young player in his own right, for Gabriel Moreno and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. The D-backs made some noise from the start of 2023, surprising people from the get-go, as at the halfway point of the season, they were in first place in the NL West division. The team did struggle in the second half of the season as they saw their division lead slip away to the Dodgers. But the team overcame their struggles in the final month as they had a winning record in September after a losing record in July and August. The D-backs did make a couple big trades midway through the season to acquire Paul Sewald from the Seattle Mariners and Tommy Pham from the New York Mets to help fortify their roster. They had to fight to make the playoffs, but ultimately they won 84 games, which was enough to earn them the 6th and last wildcard spot in the National League playoff bracket. But then, just when everyone doubted this young team would be able to advance even past the 3-seeded Brewers in the first round, which was the wildcard round, that is when the answer backs were born. The D-backs swept the Brewers in 2 games, coming back from a deficit in both games in Milwaukee. Despite their youth and inexperience, the team actually relished the big moments, and not only did their resilience show, but their young players started to emerge as big game performers, unfazed by the pressure. The D-backs would ride the momentum from the wild card round and would sweep the division-winning rival Dodgers, a team not many thought they would beat, let alone sweep. Then in the NLCS against a powerful Phillies team, the D-backs overcame a 2-0 deficit and a 3-2 deficit and found a way to win the final 2 games in a hostile Philadelphia road environment and then probably get to the World Series. Even though they couldn't finish off the incredible run with a championship, the fact that this team made it this far with such a young roster and the odds stacked against them is quite remarkable. Considering the young promising stars that we saw rise to the occasion, the players in their prime such as Ketel Marte and Christian Walker, along with 2 ace pitchers and a great manager in Torey Lovullo, this is a Diamondback team with an incredibly bright future and present. It was the playoff run that none of us expected, but one that offered so many moments to remember along the way and paves the way for a potential championship that might not be too far away.
Hey folks, J.R. Lambright here, special field correspondent for the Varsity Sports Show. Join me every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. Pacific for JR's Texas Tales, where I share stories of Texans who triumphed over adversity and gave back to their local communities. Tune in for a bit of gritty edification on KDUS AM 1060, Arizona.
After every team played last week, we have 14 games this week, starting with the Tennessee Titans at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Quarterback Will Levis will be starting for the Titans. He had 4 passing touchdowns in his last game against the Falcons, and they are on the road on a short week against the Steelers. Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett will play with a rib injury. Offense might suffer there for the Steelers. They're coming off a loss at home to the Jaguars. I think the Titans can keep it rolling. Titans win 21-17. To start off Sunday, we have a game in Germany. Miami is at Kansas City. Fans are hoping for a lot of touchdowns, and I think that they will get them with Patrick Mahomes and the high-flying offense for Miami. It will be a shootout. Chiefs are looking to bounce back after a tough loss to Denver. Miami still hasn't beaten a team with a winning record this season. I think Kansas City will get it done. Chiefs win 34-28. The Minnesota Vikings suffered what could be the biggest loss of their season, with Kirk Cousins suffering a season-ending injury. So rookie Jaren Hall will start and the offense will not be the same. Atlanta needs a win, and they are starting a different quarterback, going with Taylor Heineke over rookie Desmond Ridder. Despite not knowing if Drake London will play for the Falcons, I think the defense will take advantage of Hall. Atlanta wins 24-10. The Chicago Bears are at the New Orleans Saints, and they are playing 2 road games in a row. They could possibly have Justin Fields back, but the Saints finally got their offense going in the last game against the Colts. Alvin Kamara has been running the ball extremely well, and the Bears defense has only been average this season. New Orleans will win this one 28-16. The Los Angeles Rams are at the Green Bay Packers. The Packers have lost 4 straight games. They lost to the Broncos and the Raiders, who are also teams with losing records. The offense hasn't scored more than 20 points since week 2. Matthew Stafford suffered a UCL sprain in his right thumb, and their 43-20 loss to the Dallas Cowboys. It's unsure if he will start, but even if he doesn't start, the Packers are struggling to win games. Rams will win this one 34-17. The Washington Commanders will be at the New England Patriots. The Commanders traded away their 2 top edge players this week. New England has a number of injuries at the receiver position, with Kendrick Bourne being placed on IR and Devontae Parker in concussion protocol. The Commanders' offense found their stride against the Eagles, putting up 31 points, and Washington wins a close one here on the road despite their losses on defense, 24-21. The Seattle Seahawks will be at the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore is 6-2 on the season, looking like one of the best teams in the AFC. Their offense is clicking and the running game is starting to heat up. Seattle added Leonard Williams on defense, and they are trending in the right direction. Both teams lead their divisions and are on hot streaks, but I think Lamar will get the job done at home. Ravens win 23-20. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be on the road at Houston. Buccaneers have lost 3 straight. The Texans had a weird game last game on the road and couldn't get one of the greatest offensive stories this season to perform. But the offense is still promising, and the Texans are fighting for good positioning in their division, so they will come out firing. The Bucs do have 3 extra rest days, but it will not be enough to help them win. Texans will take this one 26-14. The Arizona Cardinals will be at the Cleveland Browns. Cardinals are 1-7 with 5 losses in a row, and they just traded away Josh Dobbs and are looking to rookie Clayton Tune to lead their offense. The Browns are a good home team, and the defense is returning to be what they were at the start of the season. If the Browns can stop turning the ball over, it will be a blowout. Even if they do commit turnovers, the Browns will win 30-17. The Indianapolis Colts will be at the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are coming off their first win of the season against the Texans. The Colts defense has been struggling in the last few weeks, and they have lost 3 straight games. Panthers are home underdogs, but I think that they can keep it rolling. Carolina wins 2 straight, beating the Colts 23-20. The New York Giants will be at the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders have had major turnover in the last week. They fired both their head coach Josh McDaniels and GM Dave Ziegler. Raiders' new head coach Antonio Pierce can't do worse than what they were doing before, and quarterback Aiden O'Connell will replace Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. The Raiders need to show their fans something positive at home. The Giants put up 31 points in week 2 against the Cardinals, but they haven't scored more than 16 points since that game. Daniel Jones could be back for the Giants, but the Raiders organization will get a much needed win. Raiders win 17-10. The Dallas Cowboys will be at the Philadelphia Eagles. One of the games of the week. Philadelphia has yet to lose a home game this season. The Eagles have the best record in the NFL, but they've also looked vulnerable at times. The Cowboys, on the other hand, have looked the best they have offensively in the last 2 games. Dak Prescott Prescott is looking good, and they are looking to prove that they are a Super Bowl contender this season. It will be a close one, but I do have the Eagles winning this one 31-29. The Buffalo Bills will be at the Cincinnati Bengals. Another great game. Sunday Night Football, the AFC North race. Joe Burrow's calf is healthy, and he looked like his normal self against the 49ers. The Bengals are on a 3-game winning streak. Buffalo is looking good, but they will have to handle Jamar Chase and the Bengals receivers. No one can stop the Bengals right now, and they will win 33-30. The Los Angeles Chargers will be at the New York Jets on Monday Night Football. The Jets have won 3 straight games, and their defense is coming up big in those wins. The Chargers beat the Bears, but they will have to travel to the opposite side of the country to face that stout defense on the road. The Jets will do just enough on defense to win at home, making it 4 straight wins. New York will win 21-17. Those are my Week 9 NFL picks, and we will see what teams can keep it rolling this week. This has been Kyle Cooper with Varsity Sports, and enjoy the second half of the games.
Hi, my name is Eric Perry, and I'm the proud owner of Eco Roofing Solutions. I've been in this industry for over 25 years, and I'm the current president of the Arizona Roofing Contractors Association. Our mission is to provide the absolute best customer experience, and we operate all over the entire state of Arizona. We will come out and provide a courtesy, no obligation roof inspection to you, as well as an estimate within 24 hours. Our team is dedicated to providing the best quality product and workmanship, and we're here to serve you. You can call us at 480-695-7736 or check us out online at ecoroofaz.com. To learn more about us, you can find me on Instagram at YourBeardedRoofer or at EcoRoofingSolutionsAZ. We are proud supporters of our community's youth and the next generation, and we would love for you to come and join the hashtag Eco family today.
Call Eric and his team at Eco Roofing Solutions, 480-695-7736, and they'll give you a fast, free, no-nonsense estimate. Tell them Vince sent you. When you think of family restaurants and sports bars, think Bonfire. Bonfire is part of the Tempe landscape, supporting local schools. Join the Bonfire Booster Club Challenge. Mention Corona del Sol, Desert Vista, Marcos de Niza, Mountain Point, or Valley Christian, and that school's sports program will earn loyalty points. The winner after football season will earn a fundraiser at Bonfire. Come for the food and fun, support the community. Bonfire, open every day east of I-10 on Warner. Show your game ticket all day Friday and Saturday and get 15% off. 480-306-6801. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
What's inside you? Is it strength? Is it speed? Is it knowledge of the game? Unlocking the greatness inside you means digging deeper, running faster, and going further than you can on your own. Banner Sports Medicine High Performance Center trains the athlete in all of us with technology, techniques, and hands-on experience customized to you. See what you're capable of by unlocking the greatness inside of you.
Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show. In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization. Hey guys, Vince here. I'd like to introduce you to my friend Eric Perry. He owns Eco Roofing Solutions. They're local and a big supporter of high school sports all over Arizona. Yes, they're statewide.
A little bit about me and Eco Roofing Solutions and what we're about. I'm a third-generation roofer here in Arizona, and I've been doing this for 25 years.
Call Eric and his team at Eco Roofing Solutions, 480-695-7736, and they'll give you a fast, free, no-nonsense estimate. Tell them Vince sent you.
What's up, everyone? My name's Lucas Metzner. I'll be broadcasting this fall for the Varsity Sports Show. Super excited to get on the call, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Lucas_J_Metzner.
What's inside you? Is it strength? Is it speed? Is it knowledge of the game? Unlocking the greatness inside you means digging deeper, running faster, and going further than you can on your own. Banner Sports Medicine High Performance Center trains the athlete in all of us with technology, techniques, and hands-on experience customized to you. See what you're capable of by unlocking the greatness inside of you.
Back here for the second half of this football game, obviously alongside Lucas Metzner as the Salpointe Catholic Lancers up here in Central Phoenix, leading 12-7 over the Brophy Broncos in this 6A Central Regional Championship. Salpointe with 12 points early on due to one touchdown with a missed extra point, and then 2 field goals. Meanwhile, for Brophy, they got a big momentum booster as Dalen Sharper with quite possibly the catch of the year for the Broncos in the end zone. Charlie McGinnis throwing a deep shot with time expiring hits Sharper. And Brophy with added momentum. And let's see how they respond here on defense as Salpointe will start the second half. They elected to defer. The ball will be fielded by Nathan Spivey. He makes his way out towards the 35-34 yard line. No flags, perhaps a little bit shorter, but good kickoff return for Nathan Spivey. Sets up a first down in better position than a touchback for Salpointe.
Yeah, Spivey's been a good, real jack of all trades for them. Sometimes we call it the Joker position. Sometimes we say Swiss Army knife. He's returning. He's playing tight end. He's, playing receiver. He's motioning in on jet sweeps. He plays middle linebacker too. He's really doing it all for Salpointe on all sides of the football.
Here comes Taylor Nagor and the Salpointe offense. He's had himself a terrific game so far in that first half, as it'll be a handoff to Jackson Bonney to start the second half of this football game, and stopped quickly that time.
Yeah, that time. Good job by Brophy doing what they've done well all game, flying multiple hats to the football and making sure to bring him down. I mean, we've seen a few rare moments in this game where Salpointe has completely ignored tacklers and gotten some good gains out of it.
Short gain of 2 that time for Bonnier, second down. Nagor trying to deploy the McGinnis hard count strategy. Didn't get the Broncos to jump that time. That's Morgan Curie in motion as Nagor keeps it himself on the option, making a little spin move before being brought down by Dom Mitchell.
Dom Mitchell, good job on backside pursuit, but an even better job from the outside corners right there. Give credit to Jack Flattery as he blew up the design screen and forced Nagor to just take off and run. Now 3rd and medium, 3rd and long. Probably stopped them for shorter yards had he thrown the screen. Maybe Salpointe would have gotten a little more.
Jack Flaherty, not a guy that sees the field all too often in this Brophy defensive scheme, but he can make some big plays when it matters when he's out there on the field. 6 yards to go here for Salpointe. And Nagor is going to be brought down that time. 3rd sack of the game for Brophy. That's Alex Salome forcing 4th down. Number 4 with a 3rd down stop to bring up 4.
Salome has been a critical part of how well the defense has played today at that outside linebacker position. Had a few tackles for a loss. Now a big sack. And they're forcing Salpointe to go 3 and out here. Huge momentum for the Brophy Broncos. Really got a nice halftime adjustment there.
Brophy right back in this football game after that touchdown and the stop. Here's Joseph Bernier to punt. Last punt was an errant snap by the long snapper, as Thomas will return the kick that time, a few yards, brought down at the 45.
And now Brophy's winning the field position battle. They got good field position to work with here. They can go back to their balanced offense, try and punch another one in, take this lead early in the 3rd quarter, and start stealing back the momentum that initially went the way of the Lancers.
All it takes is 6 points to regain that lead for the Broncos. A touchdown will do to take a lead here over Salpointe. And of course, Salpointe makes that extra point, and that's why we say every point matters in these kinds of football games. Charlie McGinnis to throw on first down, looking for the sideline, caught by Buggy, who promptly makes his way out of bounds.
And that's just getting McGinnis back into rhythm after a halftime break. Simple 5-yard out route, and he's got the timing thrown on it perfectly for a good gain on first, 2nd and medium, right where you want to be.
Aside from the rare interception earlier in the game, McGinnis has had himself a good start here in the second half. Handoff that time for the Broncos.
Carlos is trying to ball carrier.
Carlos Estrada on the carry, a little short.
Estrada getting them close that time into range, giving Harrison Chambers a little bit of a break, and that's why you like to have the tandem. They give each other rest when they need it.
3rd and just a yard here for the Broncos. McGinnis will throw, likely to run here, though. He's good with his legs. He airs it out. It is incomplete. And that's going to be a 4th down for Brophy.
Incomplete pass out of bounds.
Tried to hit that one for a toe drag right on the sideline. Referees confer and confirm what you just said. Final ruling of incomplete, but worth the risk there because Coach Jason Juel believes in his squad. They'll be able to get a few inches here and maybe a little bit of redemption for what happened earlier in this one in the first quarter.
Yeah, and you have to go for it here on 4th and 1. McGinnis gets the call. That is Jacob Buggy in motion towards the right. Estrada now moving to the left. And it'll be a run towards the right with Estrada, and he picks up the 1st down. Carlos Estrada with a tenacious run that time, and Brophy with a fresh set of downs.
Elijah Rushing almost pulled him backwards, but Estrada kind of, while he was going to the ground, spun himself forward. A great heads-up IQ play right there. Move the sticks. Chambers will sub back into the game, and Brophy's offense is moving.
The power of the Brophy running back tandem in fruition here. Of course, they're very good at pushing their way through for 1st downs. As McGinnis is under pressure by rushing as he fires, it is caught on that sideline by Buggy. Nope, make it Nathan Benzie on the reception.
All of the targets getting mixed in right now. We've seen Jax Ryan. We've seen Jacob Buggy. We've seen Cece. We've seen Sharper. We've seen Fitzgerald and Nathan Benzie. Charlie McGinnis, every game, seems to have a good mix, gets all of his targets involved so the defense can't hone in on one or the other.
CC in motion towards that right side. Harrison Chambers is the back right now for Brophy. McGinnis almost got the Lancer defensive line to jump that time, but nothing there. Looks to be a little more communication here from Coach Juel, and we've got flags, and this could be a delay of game.
Penalty prior to the snap. Dead ball foul. Delay of game offense.
Timeout.
Broncos call timeout prior to the expiration of the play clock.
Miscommunication that time between Charlie McGinnis and Coach Jason Juel caused it to be a delay of game, and now Brophy will take a timeout to talk things over.
So the referee was trying to clear up at the very end that the Broncos were able to get a timeout off before that penalty. So, you know, you want to save your timeouts, and especially if it comes down to a late game scenario where you need to stop the clock, but also an important timeout. Keep it 2nd and 3 instead of 2nd and 8 on a huge defensive game where both sides are making stops. It's big momentum. Keep yourself in 2nd and manageable so you can keep slowly moving the football, hopefully get the lead.
Sunday, November 5th, Brophy Admissions Open House. Check out brophyprep.org, the admissions website.
After talking it out here, Brophy's offense back now on the field.
Spots available when I last checked for the 2 p.m. and later tours.
2nd and just 3 yards to gain here for a 1st down. McGinnis drops back to pass, under pressure, airing it out. It is caught by Sharper. Are you kidding me? Dalen Sharper, have yourself a football game. 2 ridiculous catches as he absolutely bodies Armani Sharif that time to make the reception. McGinnis was rushed by Orlando Gonzalez, had to heave that one up, and Sharper with an impressive grab.
That's just crazy awareness by Sharper to recognize McGinnis got hit, has to come back to the football, and makes a very important catch. That one could have been intercepted the way it was wobbling and hung up there.
It's been the Dalen Sharper game tonight for Brophy. McGinnis looking for Sharper again. It is caught for the touchdown. That time actually, it was number 19, Ryan DeKoning, makes the catch in the end zone. And just like that, Brophy takes the lead here in the region championship game.
Big time players make big time plays in big time situations, and kind of shades of the end of the last half, they just let McGinnis air it out to the back left pylon in the end zone, and you know McGinnis has the arm strength and the accuracy to put it where it needs to be.
Well, how about Ryan DeConing had a touchdown last week in that win in Ahwatukee against Mountain Point, gets another one here, and that one puts the Broncos up by 2.
I was saying a few plays earlier, all these names getting involved, and now it's DeConing. You can add to that list as well. Football has been well spread around, but some big-time plays from Sharper and DeConing have put the Broncos up in the mid stages of this third quarter.
Adversity is the word that the Broncos have faced today, but it has not fazed them. We were talking earlier, how does Brophy respond? They've responded well so far, and that's exactly why they have the lead in this game.
Now they have finally swung the momentum back into their side. Can the defense build on it and get another stop or maybe even a turnover?
6:49 to go in the third quarter. Brophy with their first lead of the night, 14-12. Eddie Jaton on the kick this time. Fielded by Spivey, working his way out towards the right. And he'll be brought down before he can do any damage.
Spivey that time broke a few tackles, but a good special teams group effort of just rallying to the football and making sure to make the tackle eventually by any means necessary.
And you can just feel the momentum shift here right now. Brophy playing together like a team, celebrating together like a team.
The energy is being felt in these home stands. The students are excited. Parents are very much into it. And this defense has a big opportunity here to really put Brophy in a good position to further their lead.
And normally the student section here at Brophy all on their feet, but they understand the importance of this football game. They're sitting down attentively to watch. As it's a handoff here for Salpointe before being stopped short. Looks like Taylor Nagor is out of the game. Aiden Cook Rodriguez is in at quarterback.
Interesting move. Haven't seen much from the backup here. It's worth a wonder if Nagor was just too much from that hit we saw in the last drive. Couldn't do it anymore.
You wonder if there's an injury to Nagor, as it's a handoff that time. Once more for Salpointe, and not much. That'll force up third down, and maybe now Cook Rodriguez will have to throw his first pass of the football game.
Cook Rodriguez has been able to throw a few passes this season, especially in the blowout wins that Salpointe Catholic has had, but this may be his first real game experience in the heat of battle.
Unprecedented situation for Salpointe here as they have to get their backup quarterback in the ball game. Looking to throw Cook Rodriguez. He's got Sharif, but unable to make the grab as the ball went over his head. Good pressure that time from Marlon Colbert. He's been all over the place tonight.
Good job right there by the secondary being able to recover. Marlon Colbert able to be in on the coverage. And I like the play design from Salpointe Catholic. Carlos Correo and Alex Rios, they drew up a really good play for a backup right there. You think that you'd get an easy completion for him, so they faked the screen, went with the wheel route. It was actually a really good placed football, just out of reach, but good defense as well.
It was a great route by Sharif. He was open, but excellent pressure that time by Colbert, mixed with a little bit of an overthrow by Cook Rodriguez. Worked out in the Broncos' favor as we got a lateral here on the kick. That's CC making his return, going out towards the right sideline, and a crafty play for the Broncos as he'll pick up a few more yards than he was supposed to get on that punt.
A little bit of an unselfish move. I'm not 100% sure if that came straight from the special teams coordinator or if Cree Thomas and CC went to each other and be like, hey, I'm going to pitch it to you here. Either way, creative play design, and it was a good return. Got about 10 yards there and puts the Broncos in good field position. They're really looking for points here. Touchdown and an extra point could get them a critical 9-point lead And that's where that extra point could really start to bite Salpointe Catholic.
This a good opportunity to extend the lead if you're the Broncos. 5:07 left to go in the third quarter. McGinnis throws to Estrada, incomplete. Estrada was moving on a little wheel route before the throw, tried to complete the route, but that time over his head.
That time another simple design. Wanted to get the screen, this time to the running back, just have him slip out into the flat, but Charlie McGinnis threw it a little bit upfield, maybe more than Estrada was expecting, in and out of his hands for second down.
Estrada in motion to the left once more. McGinnis looking towards the left. He'll take it himself. And there he goes, sliding to protect his body before going down, pressured by Noah Banye. But crafty run by McGinnis sets up third and short.
Smart play and great patience by McGinnis. That time they were trying to fool Salpointe by making it look like they're running the same play, but had the receivers running some deeper concepts. That time with all the patience and the receivers covered downfield, McGinnis smart enough to evade and slide.
3rd and 5 here for the Broncos. McGinnis looks to throw, evades 2 tackles before being brought down, and he'll be a few yards short, so we'll have to see if Brophy wants to go for it here on 4th down. But it looks like that punt unit is going out on the field.
The Swiss Army knife, Nathan Spivey, came in, almost sacked McGinnis. McGinnis got forward, but the secondary tackle made by Keona Wilty. And that will make it a really tough decision here for Brophy, but they will play it smart and conservative. Still, plenty of time left in the 3rd and whole 4th.
Chetan for the punt moves a little to his left. It's a relatively shorter punt than anticipated by Salpointe, and that one will bounce out of bounds around the 25.
We've seen a lot better from Chetan this season. That was an uncharacteristic punt. It looked like he went off of the side of his foot, but he still got a friendly Bronco roll. So honestly, we have seen a lot of worse punts throughout the course of the season, so it could have been worse.
Well, I think one worse punt we saw earlier in the game that almost turned the tide was that botched punt by Jason Bernier for Salpointe, and that led to Brophy's first touchdown of the football game, and of course, later led to them taking the lead.
Almost got blocked. That was that close.
Cook Rodriguez still in at quarterback for the Lancers. He'll hand it off here to his running back that time, picks up a first down and then some. That's going to be Richard Rivera, and that's the 3rd running back that Salpointe has played so far. They've played Wills Denard, they've played Banye, and now Richard Rivera out on the field.
So a little change of pace. Rivera looked pretty good right there. Was able to throw one tackler off him and pick up a first down. The Lancers have not had a first down in a while, so that's good momentum for their offense, especially in a backup quarterback situation.
First down for Salpointe Catholic from the 45. As it's a handoff, stopped immediately that time. Great stop there for the Broncos defense. You can credit that one to Mardell Rowe. He certainly made his mark on tonight's football game.
He's got the club on, and he still comes in flying. Kind of looked like a wrestler almost right there, the way he threw the running back to the ground. And he's just been such a difference maker, having those big sacks, those big tackles for a loss, and it creates the opposing offense in a 2nd and long, 3rd and long situation.
That's the 2nd time he's done that in this game where he's thrown the running back down almost immediately. Cook Rodriguez under pressure, incomplete, intended that time for Morgan Curie, and that's going to set up 3rd down and 15.
Cook Rodriguez is trying to settle in right here. Had a decent throw, but overthrew 6'4" Curie right there. So just still a little bit too high. Now 3rd and long. Broncos defense has a great chance to get the offense back to football.
3rd and a ways to go here for Salpointe. 15 yards is the yardage to gain. Cook Rodriguez out to his left. Looking, he'll take it himself. He has the speed, but not the distance. He'll be stopped 5-6 yards short of that first down marker.
He made a good decision to tuck in and run. He didn't have anything downfield, and now he gives head coach Eric Rogers a decision to make here at 5 or 6 yards. they will bring on the punt unit, and that was the likely choice, but at least made Coach Rogers think about whether or not wanting to go for it.
That run did set up better punt position for Salpointe, able to kick the ball down the field a little further than they would have had they not gained that yardage on that third down play.
CC is waving at something like someone needs to be on the field right now.
You can see him in the backfield there with that communication. We'll have to see what he's pointing to. Maybe another trick play here on the return like that lateral. CC says he'll take it himself. Looks like it was a fair catch.
Maybe signaling he wanted a fair catch all along. That was a low line drive punt, so smart decision just to let the offense have it. Don't risk any fumble or whatnot. And, you know, the Bronco offense, they are hungry. They want to get that threshold, that 2-possession lead, and they're doing it in the waning stages of the third. If they can have a possession here, they can bleed it into the fourth and really put pressure on the Lancers.
Certainly hungry here for some more points, up by only 2. Of course, a field goal is all it takes to give the Lancers the lead here. Little delay here before the play. McGinnis in communication with Coach Juel. And it's a handoff to Harrison Chambers, right side, tackled quickly.
I think one of the reasons that the Salpointe Catholic Lancers have been so successful against this Brophy Bronco squad, and Brophy has dominated most of the teams they've played, is Salpointe has really been keen to stopping Brophy's run. They've really shut down Harrison Chambers and Carlos Estrada, something we haven't seen a lot. The only scoring really coming from McGinnis's long throws.
Yeah, multiple of these methodical runs have been stopped by the Lancers, but it's really when McGinnis throws the football that it's hurt them. Speaking of which, that pass is complete on the sideline, but still third down here coming up for Brophy.
Good job to gain some few yards back right there. It's still that third and medium territory. It's going to be interesting to see what Coach Juel draws up. He's got good personnel on the field, receivers that McGinnis likes. And we'll see if he lets McGinnis throw towards the sticks.
3rd and 6 here, clock waning, around 25 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. McGinnis will throw the ball out towards his left. Pressure coming, fires. It is caught, but not nearly enough for the first down. Sets up 4th down for Brophy.
McGinnis had no chance right there. Had Spivey screaming for him while McGinnis was in a designed rollout play to the left. So hard to unload, protect the football, and do everything all at once.
So that's going to do it here for the third quarter. We'll take a little break before we head into the fourth.
What's inside you? Unlocking the greatness inside you means digging deeper and going further than you can on your own. Banner Sports Medicine High Performance Center uses the latest technologies to train the athlete in all of us. Unlock the greatness inside of you.
Hey folks, J.R. Lambright here, special field correspondent for the Varsity Sports Show. Join me every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. Pacific for JR's Texas Tales, where I share stories of Texans who triumphed over adversity and gave back to their local communities. Tune in for a bit of gritty edification on KDUS AM 1060, Arizona.
Back in the fourth quarter of the 6A Central Regional Championship game, the final game of the regular season for Salpointe and Brophy Broncos, with a 14-12 lead, but punting here on 4th and 6 to start the quarter. Good punt that time by Connor Fury. Back out that time for that kick. Brophy getting that one all the way to the 30 by letting that bounce, and a good decision there And now here comes Salpointe. They're in an interesting situation, down by 2 with their backup quarterback still in the football game.
Yeah, Salpointe coming into this game, even with the starter, has been a known running team. And Brophy knows that. They've been doing a really good job at disturbing and disrupting that. So it really all comes down to which one of these offenses can break through and get those safety net amount of points, whether it's a touchdown or a field goal. We'll see, but it's hard. These defenses really haven't budged at all.
Undisclosed injury on Taylor Nagor took him out of the game. Aiden Cook Rodriguez, the quarterback here for the Lancers. As it'll be a handoff here to Richard Rivera on the first down and a gain of around 2.
Every time that Salpointe Catholic runs this football, I just notice how many Broncos defenders are there actively trying to participate in the tackle. Whether they're trying to rip the ball down, make sure the ball carrier is down. There are multiple defenders there every time, and that is why this defense has been succeeding. They are team tackling, and they're team tackling well.
Brophy defense loves to send everybody they have out towards the quarterback. As Cook Rodriguez looking to throw, firing wide open as his receiver makes the catch before going out of bounds. That's Morgan Curie, but they're going to rule it incomplete. Makes it third down.
Cook Rodriguez's pass complete to number 14.
Now they do give him the catch, so they will move the chains. An initial incompletion was overturned on the spot. And just like that, first down for the Lancers, moving the ball down the field.
They had a little discussion right there, but the scramble ability of Cook Rodriguez makes him find a wide open Curie on the sideline. 6'4", not a hard target to miss, and he had the room to make the play.
First and 10, Salpointe Catholic from the 46. We have flags on the field before the snap. This could be a free play or could go the other way, but yet another reception to Curie. Let's hear what the referee has to say.
Pass complete to Morgan Query, tackled by Billy.
Yeah, bring it back. Bring it back. Illegal formation offense.
More than 4 in the
backfield.
5-yard penalty.
First down.
Illegal formation that time for Salpointe Catholic, and that's going to cause it to be 1st and 15 now.
Must have had the tight end or something. They were in a very interesting formation from pistol. Must have had something to do with the last guy on the line of scrimmage, where the tight end was, if he was eligible or not. Was a bit of an interesting formation. We've seen Salpointe Catholic make the adjustment to the pistol since the injury of Nagor.
And this officiating crew noticed that quickly. Flags thrown right as the ball was snapped. As meanwhile, Cook Rodriguez brought down that time. That's number 21, Jake Schoenhals, and that's going to bring up second down here. Brophy's defense has done a good job of stopping Cook Rodriguez from taking over for Nagor and the damage that he's done.
And we've credited the defensive line and linebackers, but something I love about the Brophy Bronco defense is that secondary. Of course, they're good at pass coverage. They're meant to do that. But these guys, they're tacklers. They're enforcers, too. They're not afraid to get dirty and make the big hits and big tackles they need to in the open field.
Jackson Bonnier, the back now in for Salpointe. Spivey in motion. It's going to be a fake handoff to Spivey. Play action. Cook Rodriguez out to his right. Making the run out of bounds. Tripped up before he could run further for a first down.
That time, Dom Mitchell making a smart play, kind of playing that zone spy and staying with them. Cook Rodriguez has shown some great speed in the short time he has been under center, but good job to force him out, force third down, and make Salpointe Catholic make a tough play here.
Crucial 3rd and 6 here for both sides with 9:38 left to play in the football game. Salpointe trying to at least get in field goal range to take the lead. Cook Rodriguez drops back, fires over the middle, incomplete, deflected, and that's going to bring up 4th down, and you wonder if Salpointe's going to go for it here.
Broncos came screaming off the edge combo rush from Dom Mitchell and Jake Schoenhals, and they really took it to the Lancers right there. And the Lancers got a tough decision to make, but it looks like they will make the conservative play call with 9:34 left to tick in this one.
Joseph Bernier makes his way out on the field for the punt, and Salpointe will trust in their defense to get a stop and get them the ball back for a potential opportunity to take the lead here in the game. Short punt that time for Bernier. Bounces out of bounds around the 26.
It has not been the day of the punter today. We have seen some varying punts throughout the night, and Brophy is going to capitalize on some decent field position from where that one landed. And been saying it before, but I'll say it one more time. This is Brophy's big chance right here. Kind of that high to middle minutes left to go here in the fourth. They're up 2. They have a chance to kind of make it an insurmountable comeback for Salpointe with the backup QB in. Touchdown makes it a successful PAT, might I add. Makes it a 2-possession game.
Of course, the ghost of backup quarterback pass might be coming to haunt Brophy. Remember, the backup quarterback came in for Williams Field in that first game, and they ended up losing. So here, trying to get as many points as they can to extend that lead to make sure nothing similar happens in such an important game.
That was the most insane ending I've ever witnessed, was that Williams Field game. And that backup for Williams Field, I mean, credit to him. He did it all on the last drive. It was the only drive he got.
No gain that time, forces 2nd and 10. McGinnis handoff Estrada left side, and nowhere for him to run. Credit to Salpointe, who stopped that run game all night long.
Punt team getting ready on the Brophy sideline already. We've seen an uncharacteristic amount of 3-and-outs from the Broncos tonight. A known passing situation. Can McGinnis find a target, keep the drive alive?
And you know those 3-and-outs are just a testament to how sturdy this Salpointe defense has been in the game. McGinnis, 3rd down pass caught. Maybe a yard short for the first down, but the pass was caught by Nathan Benzie.
Good job getting right to the sticks, but going out of bounds very, very close. And spot about a yard away. And Brophy will make the conservative choice here.
Frustration here in the crowd as Brophy doesn't pick up the first down and then sends out the punt team. So with that decision, Connor Fury out for the punt with Armani Sharif back to receive. Fury with an excellent punt that time, bounces to Sharif, but he's going to let Brophy pick it up, and that pushes them back all the way out to the 11-yard line. What a punt by Connor Fury, and tough field position here for Salpointe as they get the football back.
Best punt we have seen all night at a critical time, getting late here in the game. Good job by Connor Fury.
We're going to move it up 5 yards for Salpointe. 5 yards. Sideline against Brophy. That's their second of the half. It's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
Kicking team.
Lots of sideline infractions, not just tonight, but this season for the Broncos. You know, those guys get fired up on the sidelines, but unfortunately for them, that's going to cost 5 yards here.
They're so excited. They've already received their warning, so have to enforce the 5 here, but after such a good punt from Connor Fury, doesn't seem like that big of a deal.
Brophy leads by 2, but for the last 8 to 9 minutes, this game has almost been in a stalemate of sorts as neither team could really get anything going after Brophy's touchdown. Salpointe looking to turn that around as Cook Rodriguez fumbles the football. Brophy saying they have it. Let's see what the ruling is. They have the football. Brophy recovers. Excellent field position. Exactly what the doctor ordered for Brophy.
The big critical turnover. Brophy's defense has done a good job of getting it all year, and they come up with it at a huge time. 8 minutes left to go in the game. Prime field position. This is the mistake the Broncos need to capitalize on.
They had to punt last time out, but they get another shot here to put some points up on the board, and right in field goal range if you can't get it into the end zone, but there shouldn't be any doubt that Brophy has the capacity to get 6 on the board here. 8:02 left to play in the football game. Broncos recovered the ball from Salpointe's 18. McGinnis looks to throw, firing to Sharper. It is hauled in, but out of bounds, they say, and that's going to bring up second down. Good throw by McGinnis, but Sharper couldn't keep both feet in.
Honestly think McGinnis might have led him too far that time. Sharper been doing an excellent job of hauling it in all night long. He's been conscious of his feet too. I think he was trying his best, but too much mustard from Charlie that time.
Second down here, McGinnis will throw again. He has time. Now he doesn't. Flag on the field, and he's going to be wrapped down by rushing. Let's see what the call is from the referee.
Hey.
I got 78 black.
Okay, I got 57 too, so
that probably won't take it, but.
yeah. Decline. We have 2 fouls in the play, holding number 78 and holding number 57. Those penalties are declined, third down.
2 holding calls that time, both decline. And that's going to send Brophy from the 18 to the 28. So less ideal field position, but still some room to work with here before you get in the end zone.
It was good coverage with nowhere to go. They're looking at third and a country mile, as I like to say. So Coach Juel needs to be smart here. Get some yards back for your kicker and make sure you can get the 3 points.
Third and a ways to go here from the 20 yards out. McGinnis just going to have to throw that one away. Good pressure that time by Keona Wilhite. Forces up fourth down, and we have someone shaken up there, but able to get up on his feet. He looks okay. And now Brophy will have to settle for 3 points here, but you'll take anything in a 2-point football game.
Yeah, going to be a deep field goal, going to be a tough task still for Connor Fury, but he has been up to the challenges given to him this year. The only thing being right there, I like the play call from Coach Juel. They tried to set up a screen to Chambers, but wasn't able to develop with the high IQ from the defensive line.
Kaya Francone hit one out for Salpointe from 39 yards. Now they're asking the multi-sport athlete Connor Fury from 45. His kick is up. It is right through the uprights and no good. It looks like it was a little bit short. Had the accuracy, did not have the distance. Went towards the right. And unfortunately for Brophy, that kick's not going to pan out. And that's what happens when you try to kick a ball from 45. Of course, as I said earlier, Kyra Francone hit one from 37. It was a lot to ask that time for Connor Fury, just a little bit towards the right that time, and Salpointe gets the football back. A very disappointing drive for Brophy.
Yeah, they went backwards there, got out of field goal range. It looked like our eyes played tricked on us. It looked like Connor Fury had just nailed that through the middle. He must have missed it and pushed it to the right.
We have a different quarterback in here now who gets a reception to Spivey on his first play of the game, and the new guy here is Matthew Avalar.
He is listed at QB, the 6'2", 185 freshman. Do we have another injury, or do we have a coach's decision here?
I think this might be a coach's decision. Nothing has really panned out here with Cook Rodriguez, so they're going to let the freshman take the reins here in a pivotal ball game. Rolling out to his right is Avalar, and he got the catch. That was Morgan Curie, but ball hit the ground before he got the reception. That's going to set up second down here, incomplete.
I'll tell you one thing out of the gate. Avalar is coming out firing missiles on the run right now. He's been rolling out on his first 2 early plays, and he's got a really compact throw with the ball coming out with some heat while on the run. This might be a big coaching payoff here if he can pull something out here.
Skilled player Matthew Avalar is. Of course, that's why he's a freshman on the varsity roster. That's going to be a handoff to Bonnier that time. pushing his way through and makes this a much more manageable third down than it would have been had he been brought down a little earlier.
Jalen Willis Denard, ball carrier, tackled by number 20, Cree Thomas.
Wow, I can feel it in the air. This is tense, and it is going down probably to the wire here. It has been a great defensive football game between these two.
Clock ticking, 6:27 left to play. Avalar third down, under pressure, trying to get away. He goes out to his right. He's throwing it. It is hauled in. Morgan Curie makes the catch. And that's what happens when you're 6'4".
The coaching decision is paying off. Avalar evading tacklers left and right and just flipping one through the air to his 6'4" target.
32-yard pass reception, first down.
Morgan Curie had the height. He leapt up, made the grab, and a big gain for Salpointe, and they went all the way into the red zone at Brophy's 25-yard line. As if this game wasn't already tense, Lucas, as you said, somehow it's gotten even more tense.
Feels like a knife cutting through the air.
Playoff atmosphere here at Brophy. Throw by Avalar, that time incomplete. Good coverage. On that was Billy Estep.
Estep, the captain of this defense, all over him right there. Brophy has got to find a way to get pressure on the quarterback once again. They've done a good job of it, but Matthew Avalar has been very elusive, hasn't gone down for a sack, and he's been having bursts of speed, been able to use his legs in important situations.
Avalar to throw on second down. We have flags on the field as he's eventually brought down. We'll have to see who the penalty is on here.
72. You all right? Are you injured? Hold on.
Official timeout, injury.
Not a good sight here at Central. We have an injured Bronco on the field. We're going to take a quick break, folks.
Holding penalty again.
Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
Looked like it was Devin Kennedy that time, a little shaken up, but thankfully able to get up off his own 2 feet and jog down to that Brophy sideline, and let's hope that he's okay.
Play resumes. 3rd and 15, Lancers at the 30.
So it looks like the previous play was a holding and a big spot on the cusp of field goal range for both the offense and the defense.
Back to our regular scheduled programming. It's 3rd and 15 here for Salpointe from the 30. Avalar throwing it deep. Out towards Curie, incomplete over his head, and that's going to set up 4th down. This, of course, in field goal range. We saw Kyra Francone's leg earlier, and he's going to come out to try and gain the lead.
Once again, Carlos Correo and Alex Rios put together a great play right there, but just overthrown the 6'4" Curie in the corner of the end zone. Could have been a huge touchdown. And now Brophy's got to send everything they have, see if they can do it once more and get a big hand up on the football.
Brophy blocked Francone's extra point earlier in the football game. That deflection caused the kick to hit the bottom of the upright and miss. We have flags before the kick. This could go back. That would not be a good sign for Salpointe, who would be out of field goal range.
Offense 54, 5 yards, 4th down.
Results in 4th and 20 at the 35.
False start here for Salpointe, but it looks like he's still out to make the kick.
Still very much potentially in his range. We saw that on that practice kick. It looked up and good, but now a bigger challenge and added 5 yards.
Francone from 52 yards out. His kick is blocked. It is blocked, and Salpointe gets the ball back, and he's going to go down. And what a crucial stop for Brophy.
What a play by Alex Salome. Have yourself a game. He split through the C gap, came through, and got his whole body on the football. Huge play.
Not one, but 2 blocked kicks in the game for Brophy, and credit to Coach Kyle Vandenbosch and his special teams unit.
The special teams are coming to play at critical times. The false start really biting the Lancers right now. And Brophy scratching, clawing, hanging on to the lead.
How the tables have turned here at Ray Lang Field. It was all Salpointe for most of the first half until that Dalen Sharper touchdown. It's been all Brophy throughout the rest of the game, and they get the ball back with 5:11 looking to put this one away.
Larry Fitzgerald tonight in attendance.
He's here for a good one. McGinnis has Buggy. He's going to make the catch, and they're going to rule it incomplete. Buggy on the sideline. Looked like he had both feet in bounds, but they're going to say that left foot was out. That's going to bring up second down. It was a big opportunity that time for Brophy, but could not deliver.
Oh, that one's tough. McGinnis was getting harassed as he threw that one. Threw a nice pass, but referee ruled he just couldn't get his feet down in bounds. Tough one for Brophy.
That was a play, too, where if McGinnis had even 1 or 2 more seconds to throw the football, that could have been a touchdown.
Easily.
Pressure forces the incompletion. 2nd and 10 here for Brophy from the 39. 5:01 to go. McGinnis to throw on the left sideline, complete to CC. Stops short of the 3rd down, but just a yard or 2 to go.
Getting back to the bread and butter, but I think that should be the primary recipient of screenplays is CC, Mr. Christian Camarada. Very fast, very elusive, and good in the open field.
4 yards to gain for first down. Charlie gets his call. Carlos Estrada moving to his left. McGinnis under immediate pressure is going to have to throw that one away. And that's going to bring up a 4th down where Brophy has to decide to either go for it or punt.
The quarterback has proved he is skillful, but you have to trust the defense on this one.
Looks like in the defense they will trust as Connor Fury is out for the punt.
Complete pass. Penalty flag on the field. Intentional ground.
Offense number 12. It's lost it down, 4th down.
They're going to rule that one an intentional grounding on McGinnis, who tried to get the ball away. There was no receiver in the area, so that's going to bring Brophy back and perhaps give Salpointe a few more yards here to gain on this punt. But, of course, you can't doubt the leg of Connor Fury, who had an excellent punt earlier that forced Salpointe to start at the 10-yard line.
Connor Fury has been super reliable, and he is in a big spot with his right foot. How far back can he pin the Lancers?
Excellent punt by Fury. This one bouncing out towards the 10-yard line again. Stopped at the 19, and Connor Fury with great special teams play tonight.
Another big-time player making a big-time play in a big-time situation. I don't know how many of those out there are Pat McAfee enjoyers, but that would be, quote-unquote, for the brand, a great punt inside the 20-yard line, and it comes down to the Bronco defense. Can they hold off the Lancers one more time?
Yeah, and you know what, Lucas? I bet if Pat McAfee was in attendance tonight, he would be enjoying some great punts on both sides.
He would have a roller coaster of a night. It has been a roller coaster night for the punters.
This is a college game day premier type of game here for the regional championship. Avalar, 1st and 10, looking to throw it is caught. His favorite target, Morgan Curie.
I mean, why not? Curie, big target, 6'4", Good route runner. Seems to haul in every pass thrown his way. He's a big reason that the Lancers are still in this one.
Curie using his size to his advantage, 6'4". You'd think he'd perhaps play basketball, but also electing to play football. 3 yards to go here for the first. Avalar bobbles the snap a little bit, but takes it himself. He has room to run. There goes Avalar, and it's going to take a while for him to be stopped, making it all the way out to the 34-yard line before being taken out of bounds by Creed Thomas.
Brophy sent the heat. They went blitz that time, and between the left tackle and the left guard opened a big hole for Avalar to run, and he's using his athleticism to his advantage. Big play flipping the field.
How about this? Matthew Avalar, the freshman quarterback, the third string quarterback for Salpointe, coming out now and trying to lead them to victory. Flags, let's see what the referee has to say.
Before the snap, ball start. Offense number 14, 5 yards. Still first down.
Well, we've seen a fair share of false starts from Salpointe, and of course in a game as tense as this, sometimes you get a little too jittery up front.
That's a big one in terms of field position. Brophy trying to hold on for dear life and prevent a field goal try here.
That sets them back 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 15. Avalar trying to find room to throw, but there is Alex Salome again. And talk about a guy that's had a big impact on this game. He's been all over the place. Blocked that field goal earlier by Frank Cohn and now in for the sack.
Big sack in a big situation. Pushes Salpointe Catholic back even further. Salome is a impact player who has made critical plays, including the blocked field goal earlier.
Tough scenario here for Salpointe, down to 2nd and 20 from their own 47-yard line, trying to get back into Brophy territory. Line not holding up for Avalar. He's going to throw that one incomplete over the head of Isaac Moyle.
And the man himself, Creed Thomas, in on the coverage. Wasn't too far away. The defensive pressure forced a tough throw. Creed Thomas in the area, overthrown a little too hard. 3rd and very long. You got to think Salpointe Catholic is playing for the field goal position here. Brophy with a big opportunity to keep him out of position.
And with the lack of run plays here for Salpointe with Avalar in the game, that Brophy secondary has stepped up to prevent any points from being scored. Avalar under immediate pressure. He's going to go down. And a big sack that time. Who else but Mardell Rowe?
Wow, Mardell Rowe having some big plays, big sacks, big tackles for a loss, but maybe none bigger than that one right there.
4th and 29 for Salpointe on this punt. Bernier out to punt. Looks like we're going to get a timeout here by the Broncos. That's going to be their second timeout of the half.
That was a huge timeout. Very smart call right there. Brophy was so excited from the play and the momentum that Salpointe Catholic had gone out there and got the punt team ready instantly. I thought they might have even tried a fake there. Brophy had about 3 players on the field. Good recognition from Coach Juel, calling the timeout and preventing disaster.
And sometimes those are the plays, those intangible plays that could save you a ton, especially in a situation like that where you're not prepared. And a good timeout call that time from Coach Juel lets the Broncos set up to return this punt.
Yeah, the timeout's not going to show up in the box score or the stat sheet, but it was certainly an important one in this game with the team caught off guard.
Regardless of the outcome, Brophy will play at home on Thursday if it's in the 6A playoffs. They will most likely be on the road if they sneak into the open here, but they'll have to hold on to this lead to try and do so. CC calling for a fair catch.
Making a smart play right there, just getting the ball possessed for the offense once again. And now, Salpointe holding on to all 3 of their timeouts. Little over 2:40 left to go. Can the Broncos execute the 4-minute offense and sulk away the clock?
2 minutes, 41 seconds left to go in this football game. Brophy up by 2. A Salpointe field goal could take the lead, but here the Brophy offense trying to milk as much clock as they can to hopefully for them run out the clock and win this football game as well as take the division. McGinnis on the quarterback keeper himself gets around 5-6 yards before being brought down. Salpointe will elect to use their first timeout. They'll have 2 timeouts left to try and stop that clock.
Good job by Coach Juel. Keep it on the ground, get the clock rolling, make them use a timeout. Interesting decision there, quarterback power with McGinnis. I like the play design. Salpointe was ready for it. And, you know, the way that Salpointe has defended the run so well today, and Brophy, you're in a running situation. I wonder if they can use Salpointe's timeouts to their advantage and dig up one of the craziest run plays you can think of, catch the Lancers off guard.
And Lucas, Brophy's offense currently in that 2-minute situation where they try to milk the clock to end the game. If you're Salpointe's defense, how do you combat that while getting the football back with a chance to win?
Well, despite the looks that Brophy shows, you have to load the box, and that's something they've done most of the night to help stop this run. And of course, Elijah Rushing has to come in big right here and eat up blocks and disrupt.
Rushing, hoping to make an impact on the defense. Meanwhile, Brophy hoping to rush with the football to bring that clock down. 2:34 left to play in the football game. 2nd and 7 here. McGinnis will keep it himself, but brought down quickly, and we'll see if Salpointe wants to use their timeout now, and it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do.
They go back to quarterback power, and I do like that because you're maximizing the use of your blockers. There's no quarterback handing off, standing in the backfield. That's like essentially a waste of a player when the quarterback hands it off. You only get 9 blockers and 1 running back. But when they have McGinnis keeping himself, it gives all 10 blockers plus McGinnis the ball carrier. So I like the first 2 calls. 3rd and medium here. Don't know if McGinnis has the speed to do it again.
Now the dilemma for Brophy, Lucas, whether or not to throw the football here on 3rd and 4, because Salpointe has 1 more timeout. If you run the ball and you get stopped, Salpointe's going to burn that timeout, and they're going to force a punt. But if you throw it and get a first down, that puts you in much better position to win this game.
With the time left and the fact that Salpointe only has 1, if Salpointe would get a stop after a first down, they would have mere seconds with the football. So I would fully support turning McGinnis loose, trusting your number 1 guy to make a clutch play and keep the season rolling.
Perhaps the biggest play of the football game here on 3rd and 4. It's going to be a run with Harrison Chambers. He goes down immediately, and just like that, Salpointe uses their last time out of the football game, and Brophy will have to punt on 4th down.
That ended up being the smart, conservative call. Make Salpointe burn every single time out, but the fact that they did it where it was in this game, 2:21, is a lot more than a lot of teams get in these scenarios. So once again, calling the unit of the Brophy Broncos defense to try and come up with one final stop to clutch the game.
2 minutes and 21 seconds left to play is, of course, a lot of football, especially when you're as versatile of an offense as Salpointe is, and so they don't really need to throw the football out of bounds immediately. They can spare some clock because, remember, all it takes is 3 points to win this football game. So as long as you're in makeable field goal range, you have the chance to walk out of here with a victory if you're Salpointe.
And we have seen Kaya Francone has a good range. I mean, the only thing that's really prevented him is blocked field goals at this point. So it'll come down to the blocking unit if Salpointe gets in range.
Francone hit one earlier from 39 yards. As another great punt by Fury will be returned by Spivey, trying to weave around the right side and forced out of bounds that time by Jacob Coates, but a good return by Spivey sets up Salpointe at around the 50-yard line with 2 minutes and 7 seconds left to play.
It's intense. It is intense. Brophy's defense knows what they have to do. Salpointe's offense knows what they have to do. a battle of execution in these final 2 minutes to determine the 6A Central.
You could not dream of a better football game for a regional championship, but that's exactly what we have tonight. 14-12 is our score. Salpointe looking to emerge as 6A Central Region champions as Avalar's throw is complete that time over the middle. It's Morgan Curie once more, and Salpointe's going to have to go and hurry up offense here with 1:55 and the clock still ticking.
Good hit by Estep, but Curie just doesn't seem to drop any passes. And it seems like he put some pine tar on his gloves the way he's been catching this football tonight.
A Salpointe win would effectively hand them the division and crush any chance Brophy has of making the open. Handoff that time, and Bonnier picks up a first down.
Clock starting to tick here, and this is the critical 10 yards. This is make or break for the Brophy Broncos. These are about the last 10 yards you promise yourself that their kicker is not in range.
We know that Francone can make it from deep. As we have flags, that's going to be a false start.
Dead ball.
Before the snap, false start.
False start.
Offense.
Offense.
5 yards, still first down.
5-yard penalty.
False start again for Salpointe, and that's going to cost them 5.
A big field position penalty. Referees winding the clock. When they snap this, it'll be about a minute and counting.
Clock still ticking. Salpointe first and 15 from their 49. Avalar out to his left. Pressure from Rowe. Making his way out of bounds as Salome in for the tackle. No, that's Dom Mitchell, but either way, Avalar able to stop the clock here.
I'm going to go blindside block. Blindside block on number 8, I think it was.
Number 8,
Yeah.
blindside block.
Blindside block right here on number 8.
Okay, so we're going to go from your spot of your
From that
flag
spot, right.
because it's actually, wait a minute, is the ball back or the spot?
The ball.
Okay, so from the end of the run. End of the run. John, number 8, blindside block. Personal foul, blindside block, number 8,
Illegal blindside
offense.
block.
That's 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
Interesting penalty call here. Illegal blindside block made by Nathan Spivey, and not what you want right now if you're Salpointe with 54 seconds left to go. And they're going to have to talk things over here. Brophy crowd making a lot of noise. They want this division win. It is first and very, very long, 24 yards to go with Salpointe at their own 42.
Some huge penalties, and the original backup returns, but the defense has a little bit of room to make this stop.
Avalar, no. Cook Rodriguez back in the game. He doesn't know where to go, but able to escape, still going, trying to make it out towards the sideline and stopped. 40 seconds and counting here for Salpointe.
Colin Armoranian making a big tackle there in the open field. The clock will roll and didn't gain too much there. That's a good job.
Interesting decision to put Aiden Cook Rodriguez back in the football game. We have flags. Yet another false start for Salpointe, and it's hurt him all night.
You see Larry Fitz knows it's a false start.
27 on the clock, 27. Dead ball. False start.
False start.
Offense, center. 5 yards, second down.
5-yard penalty enforcement.
Tough environment to play in all night, and those false starts have costed Salpointe here 25 seconds to try and win this football game. They have to get into field goal range and then try to get the ball out of bounds or spike it.
Just outside the 45.
So they reset the clock. They give 2 additional seconds back.
2nd and 21 from the 45. Brophy has men deep. Avalar back in the game. Launching the football. It is incomplete. Intended for everybody's favorite Morgan Carey, and that's going to bring up a crucial third down.
Beck Seabold in to make a critical stop. There was a little bit of contact there, but it seemed like it was rather mutual and little hip-to-hip, potentially uncatchable. Had to think everyone in this stadium held their breath after they bumped into each other to see if the ref would reach for the flag. But it is looking close to impossible right now. Even if the Lancers complete a pass, if it's inbounds, they have no time.
16 seconds. The ball is fumbled. Everybody's hopping on it. We'll have to see who has it.
The clock is running.
Salpointe recovers. Clock is running here. 4, 3, 2, 1. They can't get a playoff. The Broncos are 6A Central Region champions.
What an effort on the defensive side. The boys come through for a huge Broncos win.
This a win, Lucas, that could potentially catapult them into the Open Division playoff. But if not, they will have home field advantage in the 6A playoffs if that's where they go. And we're going to have to see where AZ Preps put them. The biggest game of the season ends in the biggest win of the season for Brophy.
Unbelievable job from these guys. They came through when it mattered most in big-time situations. They played for each other, and most importantly, they didn't give up. They never folded. They really gave it their all together as brothers, and you have to respect the effort that the defense put in especially.
Well, who is your player of the game tonight, Lucas, if you had to pick one?
Oh, man, it is such a tough decision between two guys, but I think I have to give it to Alex Salome. He had some critical sacks late in the game, and he was the one that came up with that blocked attempt to keep this game where the current score is. Who knows? We could be looking at a 15-14 final without him. So I'm going to go Alex Salome, player of the game. He made critical stops.
Alex Salome, player of the game, and here come the Broncos to celebrate with parents, family, friends, and followers on the sideline. For our camera guys, for our producer Josh Jones, for Lucas Metzner, I'm Avi Singh. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to listen live to Coach Jules' interview on Varsity Sports tomorrow. And so long from Ray Lang Field at Central High School. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and have a great